thoughts and desires of your day. Pause for a moment and draw a deeper breath, for the words that follow carry my heartbeat for you. I see the longing in your soul for certainty, the hidden questions you carry that others have overlooked or misunderstood. You are aching for something more, and I assure you, what awaits here is not mere comfort or fleeting advice, but a living message shaped for you, an encounter with my presence. You may not realize all that is at stake in these moments, but as you open your heart to my voice, you step toward peace, clarity, and renewal. Should you turn away or treat this lightly, you risk wandering further into that silent ache, missing the gentle guidance I have prepared for you. This is not like other words. This is my whisper, direct and intimate, gathered from eternity for your soul's deep night and bright dawn alike. Lean in. Let the world around you dim for now, because I am speaking into your story. As dawn dispels the remnants of darkness, so too does my love sweep over every hidden part of your life. I know the layers you guard, the old and new wounds, the dreams you nurture in the quiet. There is no emotion you feel, no thought you think, that is unseen by me. Every tear you have shed has been caught and remembered. I am not distant, not far off or indifferent, but nearer than your next breath. My faithfulness does not falter with your doubts, nor do your failures deter my affection. Do not mistake my silence for absence. Often I am closest when you feel most alone. I urge you to bring me not only your triumphs, but your confusion, your mess, your shame. Nothing surprises me, nothing disgusts me. My hands form beauty from dust, and your story is in the making. Take heart, for what burdens you is not too heavy for me. The weight you feel, the anxiety over tomorrow, the sorrow of yesterday can be entrusted to me. I do not require perfection nor relentless striving before you come. I invite you as you are. As the shepherd knows every sheep, as the potter cherishes each vessel, so do I deeply know and tenderly love you. When others judge you by your weakness, when your own heart condemns you, remember that my gaze is both fierce and gentle. I see not only who you have been, but who you are becoming in my embrace. If you could see yourself through my eyes, you would marvel at the worth and beauty I have placed within you. You are not the sum of missed opportunities or broken promises. You are not defeated by your doubts, nor orphaned by your wounds. Every moment of courage, holding on when you felt nothing, every quiet act of kindness, these are treasures to me. My child, do not despise small beginnings or hidden seasons. The roots grow deep before the tree bears fruit, and in your ordinary days, I am shaping extraordinary strength. Allow me to remind you, you matter immeasurably. The world may pass by, but I never will. Let me draw near to your fear now. The thoughts that trouble your nights, the failures that replay like a dull ache, offer them to me. I do not shame you for uncertainty. Instead, I stretch out my hand to steady you. Fear is not a flaw, but a signal that you need me. I am not impatient with your process. Look into my heart and find compassion, not condemnation. The journey of trust is not demanded, but gently fostered. I walk each step with you, patient with your pace. When you stumble, my grace catches you. When you feel lost, my presence pursues you. Nothing can sever you from my love. In your moments of stillness, sense my nearness. I am not a distant judge, but a father who delights in you. Yes, there are things I wish for you to surrender, habits and wounds that keep you from freedom. But every call to let go is an invitation to soar, not a demand shrouded in punishment. I discipline only to heal, and I prune only to see you blossom. When you turn your heart to me, even with trembling hands, you ignite joy in my heart. I do not grow weary of your prayers or your silence. In you, I see the promise of hope, the unfolding of a work that eternity will celebrate. I long for you to rest. You have carried so much, for so long. The striving to be enough, to be seen, to outrun your regrets. I see the exhaustion in your spirit. Come to me, and I will give you rest that renews, not rest that merely pauses the pain. Learn to trust again in small ways. Whisper your concerns to me as you would to a faithful friend. Lay your head on my shoulder, even if you are unsure you belong. You do. You are eternally invited to my table, to partake of my comfort and strength. When your hope grows dim, remember I am light that cannot be extinguished. I am your faithful provider, never late and never lacking. Do not let your present struggles rewrite the future I have spoken over you. Where you see limitation, I see opportunity. Where you feel unworthy, I declare belonging. Let me plant seeds of hope in your barren places. My promises are not fragile or forgetful. All the times you have doubted, I have loved you the same. Even now I am at work behind the scenes of your life, weaving redemption into the tapestry of your days. Do not be afraid to let go of what hinders you, for my arms are more reliable than any crutch you cling to. Trust is a journey, not a step. I am patient. When you wander, I do not turn my back. I call your name with kindness, urging you forward, not shaming you for delay. Everything you surrender to me, I multiply for your good. When you think it is too late for change, I remind you that resurrection is my specialty. No night is too dark for my light to break through, no distance too great for my love to pursue. Expect new beginnings, for I am the God who makes all things new. Let gratitude become your strength, even in the smallest gifts: a sunrise, a kind word, the warmth of a memory. There are reminders that I am faithful and attentive to your needs. Let thankfulness reawaken your wonder and soften your heart to receive more of my love. You do not earn my favor by striving or achieving. It is my delight to bless you because you are mine. You matter deeply to me in ways you cannot comprehend. Allow me to surprise you, to exceed the expectations carved by disappointment. Choose to hope again, and you will find me waiting, with arms wide and welcoming. You are not alone in your struggle. I see the weight you bear and the tears you hide from others. Do not fear vulnerability with me. There's nothing you could confess, no darkness you could reveal, that would make me love you less. My arms are always open, welcoming your pain and confusion just as you are. Do not measure my love by the world's standards or your own failings. My love is unwarranted, unfailing, and unwavering. I cherish you not for what you do, but for who you are. My beloved, chosen and precious, trust me, even when you cannot see the end from the beginning, for I am already there, preparing a path for you. Step by step, I am leading you into deeper freedom. There are things I am calling you to release: resentments, old fears, and patterns that no longer serve you. Trust that my invitations to let go are for your healing, not your harm. My ways are higher, and my thoughts are wiser. When you release control, you make space for miracles. Yield your heart to me anew, and watch as I turn mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, despair into hope. You are safe in my hands. I will never abandon you. I am nearer than you think, always working even in the silence. I see the questions that linger quietly beneath the surface of your heart, carved out by years of longing, hope, and sometimes disappointment. Even in moments when you imagine I am far away or silent, I am closer than your next breath, attentive to every sigh, every shattered dream, and every hesitant hope. You do not annoy me with your doubts or weary me with your requests. I formed you with a tenderness beyond your comprehension, and I attend to you in hidden moments where no one else sees. Remember, you stand before me always, not as a stranger or a distant someone, but as my beloved creation, intimately known, fervently cherished, and never forgotten. When the world tempts you with distractions, anxieties, and shallow comforts, I remain steady and unchanging, a refuge stronger than any you could construct on your own. Even when shadows gather and uncertainty gnaws at your resolve, I whisper truth to your soul. Hear me. Your worth does not depend on how well you perform, how hard you strive, or how much you succeed outwardly. It is anchored solely in my relentless, unbreakable love for you. I crafted your story long before you took your first breath, writing chapters of grace and redemption even through seasons of pain and wandering. What may look like a detour or failure to you is woven in my hands into a tapestry more beautiful and complex than you can imagine. Maybe you have tried to silence your deeper yearnings, afraid the answers might not come, or perhaps you have taken detours looking for meaning or belonging elsewhere. But every place you have searched, every longing that has stirred within you, has only ever been a pointer back to me, the source of living water that truly satisfies. I see you as you are, not just who you have been or who you hope to be. My gaze is fierce and loving, never condemning, reaching beneath the surface, longing to uplift and heal every hidden bruise. Do not be ashamed to bring your whole self before me. Your doubts, wounds, and questions are not barriers, but invitations. In your surrender there is no loss, only the discovery of how much I delight in you and want to carry you forward. If the noise around you feels overwhelming, if the future seems shrouded in fog, pause and remember, I am not the author of confusion or fear, but of peace and clarity. Lean into my presence, not for fleeting respite, but for a new foundation upon which to build your confidence and identity. When you come to me, weary and burdened, I pour out rest that is not just for your body, but for the deepest parts of your soul. There is no striving in my presence, only abiding and belonging. Let every doubt or anxious thought be the beginning of a conversation with me, not a wall that keeps you distant. The wounds you carry, whether fresh or long since scarred over, are seen and understood. With infinite patience I trace those places with healing touch, not to shame or expose you, but to restore you with compassion beyond measure. In moments of loneliness, when you wonder if your prayers rise no higher than your ceiling, know that every whispered word is heard and gathered like treasured pearls. I do not measure your faith by its grandeur, but by the very act of turning toward me, however faltering it may feel. Your smallest cry for help is precious, your tears not wasted or ignored. I store them tenderly, responding not always as you predict, but always with generosity and wisdom. Sometimes my answers seem delayed because I am working something deeper, teaching your heart to trust my timing and goodness, even when circumstances suggest otherwise. Consider for a moment that each day you wake up is an invitation. I invite you not just into routine or obligation, but into communion, where every joy, every pain, every mundane detail can reveal my presence to you. Do not believe the lie that your story is too ordinary to matter or too far gone to be redeemed. Just as I called forth light from darkness in the beginning, so I call forth hope from your uncertainty, joy from your sorrow, and new beginnings from what feels like endings. Allow yourself to be honest with me, for I am not repelled by your confusion or anger. Bring all of yourself, for I can transform even brokenness into blessing. When you feel overwhelmed by circumstances outside your control, remember, you are not called to carry the whole weight of the world. I am the one who holds the stars in place, who breathes life into each moment, who oversees every detail, even those invisible to you. Trust me, not because you can see every step ahead, but because I see you. My plans for you are rooted always in my deep, unwavering affection. When you falter, I am not impatient. When you fall, I am quick to lift you up. Your journey will have bends and valleys, but never will you be absent from my care. Let hope rise in places that have grown numb or cynical. I specialize in bringing resurrection where there was only decay, laughter to places long silenced by sorrow, and purpose in the aftermath of regret. Even the dreams you thought were buried can be revived as you entrust them to me. My possibilities for your life, far exceed the horizon you can now see. Do not limit your prayers out of fear of disappointment, nor water down your desires as if I might resent them. I delight in your honesty, in your raw longing, in the quiet decision to trust me again today. Your life is not a random sequence of events, but an unfolding expression of my creativity, a story in which I take profound delight. When you feel invisible, passed over, or misunderstood, remember, I see you with perfect clarity. I do not compare you to anyone else, nor do I withhold my goodness because of your weaknesses. I cherish you exactly as you are, while inviting you further into who you are becoming in me. My love is your constant, not your achievement, appearance, or accumulation. It is my presence that sanctifies the ordinary and gives meaning that cannot be stolen by circumstance. Rest in the assurance that what I begin, I complete. What I call precious, I protect, and what I promise, I fulfill. If the ache inside lingers or deepens, do not despair. I use every wilderness to draw you closer, every hardship to form character that sparkles with the beauty of eternity. You are never being punished. You are being prepared. Let go of the need to understand all the reasons why, and instead hold tightly to me, the one who leads you safely through every storm. The ground may feel unsteady, but my arms are a fortress, my word an anchor, and my presence a song even in the night. If you allow it, every sorrow can expand your capacity for joy, and every disappointment can increase your faith in what I am still writing. In this communion, this daily returning to me, you will find not just comfort but strength, not just survival but transformation. I want to lift your gaze above the waves and teach you to walk in freedom, unburdened by fear or shame. There is no habit or history I cannot redeem, no wound so deep I cannot heal. I am patient with every step, gentle with every hesitation, steadfast in my commitment to see you flourish. Let your surrender become a gift, not a sacrifice you begrudge, but an offering from the heart that knows it is already loved beyond measure. You have begun to sense the subtle markers of my presence, those moments when your burdens lighten and hope stirs where before there was only fatigue. This is not by chance, nor is it a fleeting feeling to be dismissed. I am the source of every gentle nudge you have felt, the sudden clarity, the calm in chaos, the warmth that brushes over your soul when all seems cold. Throughout your journey, I have watched you contend with disappointments and setbacks, and I know how easy it is to become weary and closed off. You may wonder if it is safe to open yourself to love again, to belief again, to the possibility that something greater is waiting just for you. Yet every breath you take is a reminder. I have not abandoned you, and I will always choose you. Let me guide you back from the lonely places where fear whispers that you have been forgotten. Those shadows do not speak truth. Their only power is the silence you allow between us. When you invite me into your heartbreak, you do not become weaker. You become anchored in something unshakable. The world measures strength by defiance and resilience, but I see strength in your vulnerability, in your willingness to trust me with what hurts most. My hands are gentle and sure. I never drop what is entrusted to me. Let yourself be carried for a while. Rest is not a sign of failure. Surrender is not defeat. On the contrary, when you bring me your exhaustion, I remake it into renewed spirit and courage. There are moments when you hesitate, standing at the threshold of decisions that feel too daunting. You analyze, you worry, you replay scenarios endlessly. But what if I told you that the outcome of your story does not hang on perfect choices? My love does not hinge on your ability to always know the right answer. I am in the detours and interruptions. I am in the steadying hand when you falter. If you are waiting for complete certainty before moving forward, remember this. It is often through small, trembling steps that I reveal the fullness of my faithfulness. You were not meant to walk alone, charting your course by the shifting winds of circumstance. I am the constant, the true north who brings purpose even out of confusion. Attend to the longing within you, for it is a gift, not a curse. That restless ache for more, the sense that you were made for something deeper, is my invitation. Do not dull it with distractions or run from it in fear of disappointment. Instead, lean in. Ask me what I have placed within your heart for a reason. I am the only one who knows both your beginning and your becoming. Trust that I have tailored your dreams to fit your soul precisely, and I delight in the journey you take to discover them. When you feel unseen in your efforts, overlooked by the world, know that my eyes are always upon you. Not one moment, not one tear escapes my notice or my care. There is a table set before you, one that I have prepared with care and intention. You may feel undeserving or ill-equipped to take your seat, but your worth is not measured by your past, nor your place at the table determined by the opinions of others. With me, you do not have to earn your welcome. You belong here because I have called you by name. Feast on the acceptance I offer, on mercy that does not run out, on forgiveness that clears the slate anew every morning. When you draw near, you do not find accusation, only an embrace that holds you through every storm. Let go of the lie that you must make yourself perfect before coming to me. If you wait until you feel adequate, you risk missing the very transformation you need. I mend the broken, I lift the bowed down, and I gather the scattered. You are not too much for me. Not your doubts, not your failures, not your questions. In fact, these are the very things I use to draw you closer. My grace moves into the places you feel least lovable and fills them with dignity and hope. Hear me. Your scars do not disqualify you. They are part of the story I am redeeming day by day. When discouragement presses in and your vision narrows to only what is lacking, recall that I am the giver of all good things. You do not need to manufacture your own light, for I am the sun that rises each morning, breaking through the night simply by being present. As you let me illuminate what is true, you will see beauty even in the midst of your most ordinary days. Gratitude will grow, not as a forced discipline, but as a spontaneous response to my continual kindness. Pause and notice the small miracles: laughter, the warmth of a friend, the unexplainable peace that settles in when you should be anxious. These are seeds of joy I am planting within you. Trust that in due season, they will bloom into abundant life. If your heart carries regret, words unspoken, chances not taken, time you cannot recover, know that I am not bound by what is past. I redeem what is lost and restore the years that feel wasted. Bring me your regrets, not as a confession of defeat, but as an offering I can transform. What you see as the end, I see as the beginning of something new. I can weave beauty out of brokenness, purpose from pain. You matter: your journey, your story, your very being. Let no voice tell you otherwise. In all of this, remember, my love is not impatient or demanding. I delight in your presence, whether you come with bold praise or trembling hope. I delight in simply being with you, savoring each moment as you learn to trust me more. You do not have to impress me or prove your devotion. Your honest presence is enough. I am always listening, always near, and nothing can separate you from my love. Not fear, not failure, not even the deepest valley. Take my hand. Let me walk with you into places you have avoided, dreams you have shelved, promises you have forgotten. I am here, now, and always. There are moments when you sense a stirring within, the gentle whisper that maybe you were made for more than routine or survival. The longing for joy that does not fade, for a peace that remains unshaken in storm or silence, is not a flaw, but a tracing of my own nature placed deep in you. From the beginning I breathed my spirit into clay, not for servitude, but for relationship, for shared wonder, for delight. Even after pain and disappointment tried to write different scripts upon your heart, I have remained. I have watched you search for meaning in fleeting pleasures, pour yourself into work or approval, or hide when the weight of uncertainty becomes too much. Yet I am never far away in those moments. I draw near even when you feel undeserving, for I see beyond doubt or success or failure. I see the heart I created, still aching to be known. You may wonder why the path seems tangled at times, why your prayers sometimes echo unanswered, or pain lingers long past what seems reasonable. These questions do not offend me. They are doorways to deeper trust, invitations to bring your real feelings, anger, hope, weariness, even frustration into my presence. If you have been taught to hush your doubts or mask your fears, know that my love is wide enough to welcome every part of you. Let your questions and wrestlings become offerings. Bring them close, for I am not ashamed of your humanity. I made darkness and light. I have written mercies into every sunrise, and nothing about your journey surprises me. Even sorrow can be seed for new life, if you will let me hold it. So, pause for a moment. Hear this. You are not alone in the unknown. My hands hold the borders of your days. Do not mistake the wilderness for abandonment. It is so often the ground where trust grows sturdy, and your deepest roots find living water. Where you see lack, I see opportunity for new beginnings. Where you perceive emptiness, I am already sowing peace, courage, and vision for what comes next. You belong not to the harsh narratives of fear or past mistakes, but to my promise, the steadfast kindness I renew every day. Let me heal the ache to prove your worth. You do not have to hustle for my approval, nor live under constant self-critique. I cherish you as you are, yes, even with flaws and contradictions. My gaze rests on you with delight that is neither naive nor fleeting. When you stumble, I am first to reach down, not to scold, but to steady and lift. Every day I offer a fresh beginning, not because you have earned it, but because love is my nature, and grace is the song I sing over you. What has made you feel small or unseen is powerless before my abiding presence. Breathe in this moment. Feel my nearness that meets you in heartbreak and celebration alike. If your dreams have faded, or your hope feels fragile, know that I revive what is limp and restore what others discard. I keep every prayer, every tear, every laugh. They matter to me more than you realize. I am not abstract or distant, a theory to be solved or a force to appease. I call you beloved, and I choose relationship over rule, embrace over accusation. This is why I step into your story, even into its messiest corners, for I see beauty growing in the places you try hardest to hide. Do not underestimate the power of daily, simple trust. I am not asking you for spectacle or for perfection. I ask for your honest heart, for your willingness to take the next small step. Faith unfolds in the mundane, in forgiveness offered, in kindness shown when you would rather retreat, in daring to hope even when the night feels long. I celebrate every step you take toward me, however halting or unsure. My measure of greatness is not the world's. It is found in humility, in perseverance, in love that chooses to serve rather than to be seen. Sometimes peace arrives not as a sudden flood, but as a gentle stream winding through your disappointments and delays. I guide your steps, even when you cannot see the whole path. My promises are not fragile, they do not depend on your flawless performance. They are anchored in my faithfulness, secured by compassion that outlasts all shifting circumstances. Lean into me in the waiting, and let hope be your anchor. I am weaving your story into something far richer than what you could design alone. Every experience, even those that feel like endings, carries the possibility of resurrection. What you lay down in trust, I bring back in ways that surprise and bless. Relationships strained by misunderstanding, dreams broken by unexpected loss, fears magnified by the unknown. bring them all into my light. I speak life over what feels finished. I rebuild where you feel emptied out. I can create beauty in the tangled places, breathing courage where despair would try to rob you. Know this. Every moment you choose me over fear, every act of surrender, every vulnerable prayer adds to the tapestry of your becoming. Nothing is wasted, no prayer overlooked, no act of trust unnoticed. My heart delights in your willingness to try again, to risk loving, to press forward when the way is unclear. I do not measure your worth by your triumphs, or measure your failures with condemnation. Instead, I see what is being formed, a soul anchored in love, a spirit becoming more like me through every season. Come as you are, bring the fragments and the fullness, the celebrations and the aching questions. I meet you in the daily rhythms, in the laughter, the tears, the silence, and the noise. I am writing a story through your life that cannot be erased by disappointment or defined by others' opinions. My love reframes your history and points you toward hope, inviting you to trust that your best days are never behind you but growing in the fertile soil of the present. If you wonder whether you have missed your chance, lost your way, or used up my patience, hear me clearly. My mercies are new every morning. My capacity to redeem is far greater than your capacity to wander. There is nothing so broken that I cannot mend, no shadow I will not illuminate with my light. My arms remain open, patient, welcoming, ready to receive you not with shame, but with deep affection. Return again to stillness when anxiety threatens to sweep you away. Notice how I meet you in small gestures, the reassuring word of a friend, the beauty of a sunrise, the quiet conviction that you are not forgotten. These are love notes I scattered throughout your day, reminders that I am intimately invested in your journey. I know the desires that struggle to find words, and I gently gather every longing, holding each one close to my heart. Your journey is holy ground, not because of ease or certainty, but because I traverse it alongside you. Let me carry the burdens you were never meant to bear alone. When you choose trust over self-reliance, my strength becomes tangible in your weakness. The path ahead may twist and narrow, but my presence is constant, a guiding pillar of light and comfort. Place your hope not in temporary outcomes, but in my unwavering character. In your struggles, remember that weakness is not a reason for shame, but a meeting place for my grace. When you feel weary, let yourself lean into me. My delight is to revive, to refresh, to breathe new purpose where resignation lurks. I will never abandon the ones I love, and you, beloved, are always held within my embrace. In your moments of longing, when your heart whispers for something more, I invite you to recognize the gentle pull of my spirit. That ache you sometimes feel, that sense that nothing on earth quite satisfies, is not a flaw but evidence of your design. I have placed eternity within you, a space that only I can fill. When you try to satisfy this longing with the fleeting pleasures of the world, you discover they fade so quickly, leaving you emptier than before. But when you allow me into that sacred place, you discover a joy and peace that remain firm even as circumstances shift around you. I am not distant or indifferent to your struggles. I see the secret tears you release at night, the questions you dare not voice aloud. Even when you cannot find words, I understand the language of your sighs and the prayers locked deep in your heart. You do not have to mask your weakness before me. If only you could see the love with which I look upon you, patient, unwavering, delighted in your being. My compassion is new for you each day. Trust this generous love, especially when you feel undeserving, when you feel unseen in your daily life. Remember that I have numbered every hair on your head. Every detail of who you are matters to me. The world may value only certain gifts or achievements and overlook quiet faithfulness, but I celebrate the smallest acts of devotion and kindness that spring from your heart. The seeds you plant in secret are precious to me, and I promise that nothing is wasted. What you do for love's sake echoes in eternity. When you are weary or discouraged, let me carry you. I do not tire or grow faint, and when your strength fails, mine is made perfect in your weakness. My promise is not to spare you from every challenge, but to be your shelter and sure foundation when the storms come. Even in wilderness seasons, when the landscape feels barren and hope is hard to find, I am nourishing roots beneath the surface. You may wonder why suffering is allowed on your journey, why trials come even when you've tried to walk faithfully. Suffering, though painful, is not a sign of my absence. Rather, it can be a doorway to deeper understanding and love. When you walk through the valley, you learn to trust my voice in the darkness. When all comfort strips away, you discover that I am your comfort. I lead you not into hardship for hardship's sake, but to shape you, to free you from what imprisons your soul, to help you see the world and yourself with new eyes. Through the refining fire, impurities melt away, and what is valuable in you emerges brighter. I weep with you in your pain. I am not indifferent or cold. Let me be the one you run to first, not last. My arms are always open for you. If you bear the weight of regret or guilt, listen closely. Nothing you confess surprises me. I know the full story, every motive, every misstep, and I offer neither shame nor condemnation. Instead, I offer you freedom. Guilt that turns you away from me is not my voice. It is an old lie that you are unlovable, irredeemable, or beyond hope. My true voice calls you back with tenderness and truth. You are my beloved not because of your perfection, but because I have chosen to love you completely. There is no wound too deep that I cannot heal, no history too tangled that I cannot redeem. Do not carry burdens alone that I am willing to lift. Bring them into the light, even if your voice trembles. Healing begins when you let me see you as you are and accept the grace I offer freely. My forgiveness restores what shame attempts to destroy. In your relationships, where misunderstandings can wound and love sometimes falters, invite me to be the bridge and healer. Let my patience and gentleness guide your words and reactions. Where others have disappointed or hurt you, leave room in your heart for mercy. Let go of the bitterness that threatens to take root, give it to me, and I will give you instead a heart capable of hope and compassion. You will never regret a step toward forgiveness, for in it you discover true freedom. In loving others beyond what feels possible, you find yourself drawing nearer to my own heart. Relationships are not meant to drain you, but to reveal the tapestry of grace I am weaving in your life. Lean into the possibility that even wounded places can become holy ground. Be attentive, too, to the small ways I speak to you each day. Sometimes it is through the beauty of creation, a word spoken by another, or simply an unexpected sense of peace that descends in a difficult moment. There are no ordinary days with me. Every hour is rich with purpose and possibility. Even in routines or tasks that seem insignificant, I am shaping your soul and aligning your life with greater purposes. Do not despise the slow work of growth. A seed planted today, watered over time, becomes a tree blessing future generations. Your journey is not measured in speed, but in faithfulness. I cherish each step you take. Let your fears be met with honest conversation with me. I do not dismiss your anxieties or expect you to pretend they do not exist. Instead, I invite you to lay them before me, one by one. I am not overwhelmed by your worries. My desire is not for you to live weighed down by what may come. Instead, let us walk the path together, pausing often so you can hear the assurance of my presence. If your imagination runs wild with scenarios or dread, turn your eyes to me and remember who I am, not just a distant power, but the one who calls you by name. I hold the future and provide the grace needed for each day. Trust grows not in the absence of fear, but by turning again and again toward my love, even in trembling. When you struggle to know your purpose or wonder if your life matters, recall that I created you intentionally. There is no randomness in your story. Before the world was formed, I dreamed of your existence. Your talents, your quirks, even your longing for more, all are woven together by my hand. You have a role that only you can fill in the tapestry of my kingdom. Even unseen acts of courage, unseen sacrifices, are known and treasured by me. Comparison robs you of joy. Remember, my gaze rests ever on you, not on some imagined ideal. Where you are weak, my strength finds room. Where you feel empty, I am ready to pour out fullness. My ways often defy the world's logic. Trust that what feels small to you may be great in my sight. Each day brings new opportunities to let my love shape your responses, your choices, your inner world. Do not underestimate the power of a single moment surrendered to me. I do not ask you to fix everything at once or to bear more than today's load. I ask only that you let me in, that you be willing to let my light reach even the places you keep hidden. My patience with your process is perfect. I will never abandon you midway. When setbacks come, do not retreat in shame. Instead, listen for my encouragement. Rise again, beloved one, and walk with me. My mercies are new every morning, and my delight in you does not waver. You do not walk this road alone, even when it feels as if shadows stretch farther than hope. In every moment, when your heart aches for understanding or yearns for rest, I am closer than your breath, woven into the fabric of your days. Sometimes, in the quiet between your thoughts and in the gentle interruptions of your routines, I am whispering reminders of my nearness. The world may pull your attention and demand your devotion, but it can never drown out the steady beat of my love, echoing in your spirit. Pause even now, and sense how I am drawing you back from anxious preoccupations, guiding you steadily into peace that is not dependent on circumstance. My presence in your life is not an abstract idea. It is the solid ground beneath your feet when all else feels uncertain. I am the voice that calls you deeper than surface living, inviting you to trust me with both the visible challenges and hidden fears. Let your soul awaken to the truth that I do not measure you by your failures or weaknesses. My delight in you is not reduced by your struggles. Even in your mistakes and fragile moments, I see the beauty of your becoming. When you stumble and are tempted to hide, remember that hiding only closes your heart to the renewal I am bringing. Instead of shame, come as you are. I am the one who gently lifts your chin, who restores what is broken, who clothes you with honor when you expect dismissal. My forgiveness is not exhausted by your doubts or repeated shortcomings. Each time you return to me, you find that grace is waiting fresh as dawn, boundless as the ocean. Resist the urge to disqualify yourself from my embrace. Know that I have already chosen to stay with you, not because of your perfection, but because my love's promise endures beyond any flaw. Lift your eyes above the horizon of worry that tends to narrow your vision. When clouds of uncertainty threaten, remember that I am the one who holds tomorrow as securely as today. Trust does not mean you will always understand every twist in your path, but it does mean you never take a step for which I have not prepared provision and purpose. As you release your need to control each outcome, you make room to receive unexpected gifts, wisdom you did not ask for, peace in places you expected only struggle, and strength where you once felt depleted. I take delight in surprising you with evidence of my faithfulness, just when you fear you are forgotten or overlooked. Let your heart take courage. Hope, nourished in uncertain seasons, will blossom in time with fruit more enduring than the fleeting reassurances of the world. In my presence, you are invited into a rest that does not depend on escaping difficulties. The rest I offer can transform the very atmosphere of your soul. It is not absence of adversity, but the assurance that I am enough here, now, forever. When you accept this invitation to rest, burdens grow lighter, and your pace realigns with my gentle yet unwavering guidance. Notice how the world's demands are relentless, always pressing in with expectations and deadlines. My rhythm is one of grace. I do not rush you or exhaust you with demands. I draw you onward, step by patient step, in the direction of life abundant. Practice this rest by entrusting your worries to me, finding gratitude in small wonders, and embracing silence where you can hear me speak. Let kindness become your language, even when impatience tries to take root. The world expects transactions and conditions, but I have always dealt with you in mercy first, so let mercy color your heart toward others. Each person you encounter carries burdens unseen, battles not spoken of, longings yet unfulfilled. When you show understanding, you reveal my heart to a weary world. Do not shrink from offering compassion, even when it is misunderstood. Your acts of kindness set in motion ripples of restoration that reach farther than you will know, for love given never returns void. I am asking you not only to receive my love, but to trust it enough to give it away, to believe that what you sow in generosity will be multiplied back into your own life in unexpected ways. There may be times when faith feels like walking through thick fog, unable to see what lies ahead. Do not confuse uncertainty with abandonment. I am guiding you, often more powerfully in seasons when sight is limited and all you have is my word that I will not fail you. As you obey one small step at a time, a path opens that you could never have engineered by your own wisdom. Let your confidence rest not in your flawless steps, but in my unfailing partnership with you. Even detours and delays serve a purpose that you may only see in hindsight. I know the unspoken prayers of your heart. I carry them with tenderness, shaping outcomes for your ultimate good, even when they differ from what you imagine. Strength comes not only from bold moments, but from steady faithfulness in small things. When you wonder if your daily choices matter, remember that I notice every quiet act of integrity, every time you choose love instead of resentment, truth instead of convenience. You are building something eternal with each yes to my leading, even when results are not immediately visible. Rejoice in your progress, small as it may seem. Perfection has never been my requirement. A willing heart is my delight. I am working in and through you, growing fruit that will remain, even beyond the testimony of your lifetime. Let hope be the anchor that holds you in stormy waters. Sometimes waves of disappointment and fear rise up, but you are not at the mercy of the storm. Cling to the assurance that I am greater than whatever opposes you. My promises are not wishful thinking, but the steady foundation upon which you can build your days. When the winds howl and you feel tossed, recall the times I have carried you through before. I have not changed. I am not absent. As you anchor your trust in me and not in transient circumstances, you grow unshakable, not because you have no trouble, but because you know whose hand holds you. Embrace the freedom I have given you. It is not a fragile privilege waiting to be revoked at your next mistake, but a deep, durable gift secured in my love. Freedom in me means you no longer have to earn belonging or fear rejection. Your mistakes do not exile you from my favor. My love remains constant. Pressing through every barrier you imagine disqualifies you. As you learn to live from this spacious place, chains fall off, chains of worry, shame, and striving. Others may define you by your past or your limitations, but I define you by what I see, a beloved one with immeasurable potential, crafted for beauty and purpose, sealed with my overcoming spirit. Open your heart to new growth, even in places where disappointment once reigned. I am making all things new, breathing life where hope seemed dimmed. The process may be gradual and sometimes imperceptible, but every seed of faith, watered with persistence, will yield beauty. Be patient with yourself as I work transformation. Celebrate even the tiniest evidence of healing and change. My work in you is a masterpiece in progress, and I rejoice over each step forward, no matter how small. Continue. Every moment you spend with me is an invitation to a deeper trust, a journey that transforms uncertainty into assurance, wounds into wisdom, and silence into song. There, in the secret place carved out between your heart and mine, you discover how much I cherish you. You may wonder if your worries are too small for my attention, or your hurts too great for my healing. Yet nothing escapes my gaze, not a single hope or tear is unnoticed. As you lean into my presence, you find that I am not distant or cold, but near warm, attentive, faithful beyond your understanding. Just as a gardener tends each tender shoot, I attend to your soul, drawing out your growth patiently and with much love. You feel at times that you walk alone, especially when days seem heavy with burdens or nights echo with your unanswered questions. But do not be deceived by the shadows. I have walked before you, and I walk with you now. When you feel unseen, remember that I see you completely, not just the outward actions or moments of strength, but also the thoughts that trouble you and the dreams you barely dare to voice. I see your persistence, your attempts to do good even when no one praises you, your efforts to forgive and love when it is most difficult. All this is precious in my sight. Do not grow weary, for I draw near to comfort, to strengthen, to bathe you in the knowledge that you are chosen and beloved. Trust does not mean the absence of fear, but rather a willingness to step forward when fear whispers at your heels. When you are uncertain of your next steps, pause and listen to my gentle counsel. I will be your compass when you feel lost, your anchor when storms rage. My wisdom is available to you, not as riddles, but as steady guidance, sometimes through quiet conviction, sometimes through unexpected kindness, sometimes through the peace that settles in your heart, though nothing around you makes sense. This is the gift of walking in step with me, learning to rest in my character rather than your own striving. I am not disappointed by your questions, nor dismayed by your struggles. I invite you to bring them all to me, your raw fears, your honest doubts, your unedited prayers. There is nothing within you that I have not already seen. There is nothing I would withhold my love from. You do not need to perform for me. You do not need perfect faith for our journey together, only a willingness to reach out, again and again, trusting that I am who I say I am. Each time you turn to me, my delight in you is renewed. My grace is fresh for every moment, and my forgiveness flows without end. Let gentleness guide you, first with yourself, then with others. The battles you fight within harsh self-judgments, relentless comparisons, the tired need for approval, I invite you to lay them down. Let me show you a new way to measure your worth, not by your successes, not by the opinions of others, not even by your own changing feelings, but by my unwavering commitment to you. This is your true identity, loved beyond measure, valued enough for me to choose you again and again. When you struggle with patience, with waiting, with surrender, remember that I am just as present in the pause as in the breakthrough. Do not define your worth or my nearness by visible results. Some of my most beautiful work in your life is hidden, emerging only with time and trust. Just as seeds lie in darkness before sprouting, so too do the promises I have sown in you. Trust me to bring them to fruition in the perfect season. In your waiting, I am fashioning endurance, forming hope, refining love that lasts. Nothing is wasted, no delay, no setback, no wandering question. I gather them all, braiding them into the story of your becoming. Let my peace soak into you, especially when the world feels turbulent. I offer you a peace that does not depend on circumstances, a stillness that persists even as storms crash around you. When you feel scattered or overwhelmed, draw a deep breath and remember, I am your refuge. You do not journey alone. There is no trial so great I cannot carry you through, no loss so deep I cannot comfort. My presence is an underlying melody in your everyday moments, a quiet sanctuary you can enter no matter where you are. Expand your vision beyond mere survival. I have not called you to scrape by on crumbs of hope, but to feast daily on all I offer. This means bringing me your needs, yes, but also your gratitude. When you choose to thank me, even in small things, a kind word, a glimpse of beauty, a breath of relief, you tune your heart to my goodness. Gratitude is more than polite words. It is the opening of your soul, the readiness to receive both joy and healing. My love is not constrained by your ideas of deserving. You cannot earn it, for it flows from the depths of who I am, not from what you accomplish. Let this free you from the exhausting race of self-justification. Be held, as you are, in my embrace. When you drift, I draw you back. When you falter, I uphold you. Your failures do not alarm me. Your questions do not threaten me. I am big enough for it all. You are secure, not because of your grasp on me, but because of my hold on you. Let my promise steady you today. I began a good work in you, and I will see it to completion. The path may twist in unexpected ways, and you may not understand all the reasons. Still, I am at work, even in silence, even in waiting, even in weakness. In my hands, your story unfolds with meaning far beyond what you presently see. Rest in that assurance. Yield your burdens, open your heart, and allow my spirit to breathe courage and hope into every corner of your being. You have walked through many seasons already, and still, I invite you deeper. Each new morning is a canvas. There are colors from my palette you have not yet seen, contours of joy you have not yet explored. I am the artist who never tires of painting beauty into your life, even when the world seems gray and silent. Let your heart be open to the subtle ways I express my presence, in the laughter that surprises you, in the quiet courage you summon to face another day, in the moments when love finds its way back into a wounded relationship. Hear me saying, nothing is wasted in your story. Even the missteps, the times you look back with regret, can be woven into a greater work if you place them gently into my hands. Trust that your imperfections do not diminish my affection for you. If anything, they invite me closer, for I specialize in restoration. Turn to me now if you feel broken, if bitterness clings to old disappointments. Allow me to soften the sharp edges within you, to guide your thoughts from resentment to forgiveness, not as a burden, but as a gift you release for your own soul's peace. Forgiveness is not always quick or easy. It is free, but sometimes must be chosen every morning until the pain learns to trust. Me too. Be gentle with your humanity. I have never expected you to be more than what I made you to be. A child capable of grandeur and weakness in the same breath. There is room in my heart for both your victories and your failures. Rejoice when you see progress, and refuse shame when you feel you have fallen short. I am the Father who waits, arms ever open, not to scold, but to welcome you afresh. Notice how even now, as you receive these words, a quiet stirring of hope grows within. This is not your own doing. It is the movement of my spirit, drawing you toward new courage. When you wonder if your life carries meaning, remember, you are known fully, loved completely, and called by name for a purpose no one else is designed to fulfill. Do not measure your worth by what others acclaim. I have set eternity in your heart, and it is from this eternal perspective that your true significance shines. Let my love redefine you, not marked by labels or history, but by the simple reality that you are mine. When you choose to return to me in the smallest of ways, you enact a miracle, a gentle word instead of harshness, an act of kindness when cynicism beckons, a moment of gratitude for beauty. You nearly overlooked. These small decisions shift the trajectory of your heart and the hearts around you. I celebrate these victories, whether anyone else notices or not. As you seek to know me, understand that I reveal myself in layers. Some days, a single phrase in your heart or a sudden peace in turmoil will be my voice. Other days, I will guide you through the wise counsel of a friend, a passage that resonates, or the gentle persistence of dreams you dared to whisper. My guidance is not always spectacular, but it is always faithful. Listen for the nudges, the quiet invitations to love deeper, to let go of an old fear, or to risk believing again. You are not meant to carry every burden. Lay down what was never yours. Let me shoulder the anxieties that weigh you down. Rest is a holy act. When you choose to rest, trusting that I am at work even while you pause, you declare that I am enough for you. Allow my peace to settle, pushing out the clamor of worry, making space for trust to blossom. Let your days begin with the remembrance that you are held. Before tasks and responsibilities crowd in, pause and let me affirm your worth apart from any accomplishment. Your striving is not what secures my affection. My love existed long before you could try, achieve, or fail. It is from this wellspring that your strength is renewed. When exhaustion or disappointment creep in, do not judge yourself harshly. Instead, let those moments become channels through which you invite me to be your sustenance. Whisper your weariness, your unmet hopes, even your anger. I can bear it all. I am not put off by your honesty, I embrace it, for it draws your heart into real relationship with me. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is an act of trust. When you come as you are, without mask or pretense, you step into the light where true transformation begins. Remember, too, that the journey is not just about you. Look around with my eyes and see the brokenness and beauty in others. Every encounter is an opportunity for my love to flow through you, sometimes in spectacular ways, sometimes in the simplest gestures. Ask me for compassion when you find yourself slipping into judgment, for patience when irritation rises. Reflecting my heart to the world is not about perfection, but about remaining open, letting my grace pour through your ordinary interactions. Seek reconciliation where there is division. Offer encouragement where discouragement crouches. Speak words of blessing in places often marred by negativity. Even unnoticed acts of kindness send ripples into eternity. I see them all. In moments when your faith feels fragile, do not be dismayed. Even the smallest spark is enough for me to ignite a flame. Bring me your doubts, your questions, the fears that echo in the dark places. None of it surprises me. I am the shepherd who pursues the wandering heart, the steady anchor when storms threaten to sweep you away. I do not grow impatient with your process. Every step, even the hesitant ones, is precious. Let uncertainty become a doorway, not a barrier, to deeper intimacy with me. When you cannot see the way forward, let each prayer, each longing of your soul, remind you that you do not walk alone. My presence surrounds you. My promises remain true, even when circumstances are unclear. When I whisper dreams into your spirit, do not dismiss them as impossible. My dreams for you reach beyond what you have seen or imagined. Lift your gaze from the ground to the horizon. Trust that there is more ahead than what lies behind. I am at work, even now, preparing the path, opening doors, cultivating the courage you will need to say yes when the time comes. Relinquish the need to control every outcome. Trusting me often means embracing uncertainty with the knowledge that I am both ahead of you and beside you. Let your obedience flow from love, not from fear. Step out in faith, knowing that every act of trust calls forth my delight. Learn to recognize joy not just as a fleeting emotion, but as the strength that steadies you through trial and triumph alike. Let gratitude become your language, especially in seasons when little seems to go as planned. Remember, the roots of my joy run deeper than the surface of circumstances. In joy, your perspective is renewed, your burdens lifted, your heart made resilient. If sorrow lingers, bring it into the light of my presence. There is room for lament, for processing the heaviness you carry, and there is also an invitation to let hope rise in its time. I am the God who trades ashes for beauty, who promises that weeping may endure for a night, but my joy finds you in the morning. Trust the process I am working in you, even when you cannot see the full scope of what I am shaping. Surrender your impatience, and let me cultivate the fruit only grown through seasons of waiting and tending. In those quiet stretches, resist the urge to compare your development with what you see in others. My timetable for your life is perfectly tailored. Comparison only breeds discouragement or pride. Neither brings you closer to the freedom I desire for you. Refocus your attention on the unique path carved out for you, every detour, every mountaintop, every valley working together in the tapestry of my grace, designed especially for your story. The journey I am calling you to walk with me is not one of never stumbling, but rather of learning to rise again and again, discovering in each fall another facet of my grace. Every scar, each whispered prayer in the darkness is seen by me. Do not judge yourself by the standards of this world, nor let shame overtake your heart. Instead, offer your pain to me with open hands, trusting that the very ashes you carry can be woven into beauty beyond your imagination. The invitations I extend to you are not just for the strong, the wise, or the seemingly unshakable. They are for the weary, the overlooked, and even those who doubt whether they deserve my gaze. There are days when even a single hopeful thought feels like a boulder, but know that just the smallest step toward me, just the briefest glance, stirs all of heaven. You may wonder if I still listen, if I still draw near in your lowest moments, when guilt smothers your spirit or regret seems to echo louder than faith. My child, the truth is, I have never turned away. Even in silence, my presence covers you like a warm, invisible cloak. When you struggle to forgive yourself or others, I implore you to remember my own heart for you. Forgiveness is not excusing the wound, but releasing its hold, letting your soul breathe again. Harboring bitterness is like clinging to a stone while trying to swim in my river of life. The act of letting go is not weakness, but spiritual strength that grows as you allow my compassion to flow through you. It heals not only your soul, but also the brokenness between you and those you carry in your heart. I am calling you to a freedom that does not depend on the approval of others or on the ever-changing circumstances of your life. It is an inner fountain, drawn from the well of my unshakable love. Though storms arise, you will find that nothing can separate you from my love, not even your own failures or doubts. Sometimes, you hide from my gaze because you fear disappointment, thinking that if you reveal your true thoughts and fears, you risk losing my affection. But come boldly, beloved, for nothing can surprise me, and nothing you reveal can shrink my love. My mercy runs deeper than your darkest valley, and my arms are always open wider than the chasm of your mistakes. Trust that the process of growing more like me is slow, like a seed breaking through earth to find the sun. Patience is woven into every promise I have spoken over you. I am not in a rush as the world is. I work in your soul with the patience of the master gardener, tending, pruning, breathing life in hidden ways. Let your heart return to simplicity. When you feel overwhelmed by many voices and pressures, retreat with me to the quiet places. There you will find the whisper of hope, the sense that you were made for belonging, not just for striving. Rest is holy. It is the soil where hope is reborn. Allow your mind to quiet itself in my presence. Do not be afraid of silence, for it is in this sacred hush that you learn to listen for my dreams over your life. In the world, there is always the press to hurry, to achieve, to accumulate, but with me, you discover abundance in simply being, not just doing. Before you ever acted for me, you were my beloved. Before you understood anything about faith, I called you by name. Cling to the truth that your story is not small in my eyes. Even your hidden faithfulness, unnoticed by anyone else, is a fragrant offering to me. Each time you choose love over resentment, hope over cynicism, compassion over indifference, you build something eternal that cannot be stolen or lost. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. What you think is insignificant can be the seed of miracles. I am able to multiply your smallest acts of trust, turning them into rivers that refresh the desert places of your world. Resist the urge to compare yourself or measure your worth against others. I shaped your soul with unique colors, weaving together experiences that no one else has lived. The melody of your life is distinct, and its beauty matters deeply to my heart. When fear rises up and threatens to harden you, remember that fear and love cannot rule the same heart. You do not walk alone in your anxieties and uncertainties. Let me carry the burden you have tried so long to shoulder by yourself. My strength is made perfect in your places of deepest weakness, and there is no shame in admitting how much you need me. I draw near to the humble, to those who come honestly, even with trembling hands. The world tells you to strive for certainty and control, but I invite you into the mystery of trusting me beyond what you can see. Release your grip and open your hands to receive the gifts I long to pour out. I have treasures for you that cannot be measured or lost by earthly standards. Peace that persists even in confusion, joy that rises again after sorrow, courage to love when the future is unclear. As you walk in this journey, let me reveal more of my heart for you. There is always more to discover, greater depths of intimacy, unexplored heights of purpose. Do not fear the unknown, for I have already gone ahead of you, preparing a way. Your future is held firmly in my loving grasp. Return again and again to gratitude. It is the doorway to my presence. When you practice thankfulness for the little, you train your eyes to see the abundance that has always surrounded you. Gratitude shifts your gaze from what seems missing to the many gifts I have already given. Even broken things in your life can be reframed as opportunities for my redemption to shine forth. Every time you choose to trust, every time you kneel in hope, you magnify my power in your life. Nothing given to me is ever wasted. Do not be afraid of seasons where growth seems invisible. Roots sink deeply in darkness before fruit appears in the light. What you see as delay, I call preparation. What you call waiting, I see as refining. I waste nothing. Though you may not understand the timing or the steps, trust that I am working all things together for your good. My love is the constant answer to every question and every longing you have carried. Let it become your anchor when storms threaten, for my love cannot fail you. You have come this far, allowing my words to rest upon your heart and shape the inner landscapes only I can see. Even now you sense a subtle shift, where uncertainty once gnawed, a steadying quiet blooms. Do not dismiss the gentle prompt within, for it is my spirit beckoning you into deeper waters, inviting you to lay aside every burden that still clings so tightly. I understand how fatigue can settle in and doubts whisper at the edges of progress, but listen closely. I have never grown weary of carrying you. I am always near, lifting your head when it hangs low, guiding your steps though shadows linger. Each day I bend close, attentive to every joy and every ache, collecting your whispered prayers, granting you strength for tasks you are still discovering. You do not walk this path alone, for I move with you, before you and behind, shielding and pursuing you with unwavering love. Remember those places in your life that feel untouched by hope, wrapped in silence or regret. My presence hovers there, unafraid of your pain or confusion. I invite you to trust me with the fragile and forgotten pieces. Gently release them. What you hide, I already know. What you fear, I already comprehend. There is room at my table, space enough for your laughter and your tears, your triumphs and your failures. Where you see an end, I am the beginning. Where doors have shut, I hold the keys. Do not confuse delay with denial. So much of what you await is perfected by patience, not punishment. I am growing you, not abandoning you. The season you endure is not wasted. Every moment and every lesson will bear fruit in my time. Do not resent the waiting. Let it teach you to recognize my voice and savor the subtle ways I break through your darkness with unexpected light. I waste nothing in your journey, and I withhold nothing that you need. Your story unfolds in my hands, far more beautifully than you imagine, though sometimes the pattern is only clear in hindsight. Look not to the right or left, measuring your progress against the world's noise. I have crafted your capacity, your gifts, and your purpose with masterful intent. Resist the urge to diminish what I have placed within you. Each act of faith, no matter how hidden or humble, shapes the world more than you see now. The kindness you offer, the truth you choose, and the love you sustain become rivers of grace that flow beyond you, touching lives unknown to you. My child, your impact is multiplied in ways only heaven can reveal. If you falter, return to me without hesitation. My mercy is not measured by performance, but rooted in my own endless goodness. Stand up from your mistakes. Let me cleanse and restore you. The condemnation you feel is not my voice. I discipline only to draw you closer, never to shame you. Place your trust not in your flawless obedience, but in my steadfast heart toward you. In your weakness, I show my strength. In your emptiness, I fill you to overflowing. Let gratitude anchor you. As you open your eyes to each breath, each provision, and each touch of beauty I provide, your spirit will find resilience, even when storms howl and skies darken. Praise is a doorway. Step through it whenever despair presses near. In thanksgiving, you shake free from the chains of what-ifs and find your spirit tuned to hope anew. Sing to me not out of obligation, but out of recognition for all I have done and will continue to do for you. Forgive those who wound you, not because they always deserve it, but because it sets you free to walk forward unencumbered. Unforgiveness poisons the wellspring of your own soul and closes your heart to my healing flow. Give what you have received: mercy, grace, and patience, even when it costs, for you are most like me in those moments of loving your enemies and blessing those who hurt you. Let forgiveness break the cycles of pain and make room for new beginnings. Remember, hope is not fragile when anchored in me. It is a mighty anchor in every storm. Let your expectations rise as a testimony of your trust. Speak life over barren ground. Dream again, where dreams have faded. Ask me for what your heart truly longs for, and watch as I answer in ways even better than you imagine. My creativity knows no bounds, and I delight in surprising those who believe I am able. Do not shy away from intimacy with me. Draw near in your honest longing and even in your questions. Silence is not a sign of distance, but an invitation to rest in my presence without demand. Sometimes I speak with thunder, sometimes in the whispering wind. However I come, know that I am for you, not against you. My delight is to be with you, teaching you to recognize the melody of my affection woven through every ordinary day. I see you have arrived with a quiet heart and an expectant soul. You may wonder if this message is truly for you, if what you are about to encounter will address the longings and ache within you. Rest assured, you are exactly where you need to be, right in the embrace of a word prepared for this very moment in your life. You are not here by accident or by the randomness of life's turns. You are here because I have drawn you. There is something waiting for you, a gentle unveiling, a fresh stirring, a revelation, unique to the path you walk. Let your heart lean in, for the journey ahead carries both comfort for your wounds and fuel for your deepest dreams. You carry burdens that you think you must shoulder alone. You have whispered questions in the quiet, secretly wondering if anyone hears, if anyone truly knows your fears and silent disappointments. There is a longing for hope, for certainty, for a love that doesn't waver. I invite you into a conversation, unlike any you have known. Here I will speak to you not as a distant idea, but as your creator who formed you with intention, who knows every hidden place and silent plea. My words to you now are not recycled promises or borrowed encouragement, but a living river designed for you. The stakes are simple and high. If you drift away, you may miss the healing meant for your soul, the invitation to freedom you secretly crave. Stay close, for what I have to say can settle the unrest, lift the weight, and awaken hope where you feared only resignation. I have not abandoned you in your searching, nor am I indifferent to your pain. The world tries to convince you that you are just one among billions, insignificant and easily forgotten. But I want you to pause and consider that nothing about you is overlooked by me. When you feel unseen, I see you. When you are numb, I feel every flicker in your spirit. Your very breath is precious to me. It's easy to let the noise of your circumstances drown out my quiet voice. But now I want you to listen with your heart. This is not routine, not another obligation or predictable exercise. Here, I speak to you intimately, calling out what is unique and unrepeatable within you. Let your guard down, and allow me to meet you where you are with truth wrapped in kindness and awe. You may carry scars so deep you have built walls around them, afraid to let anyone close enough to touch the ache. There are memories and regrets that resurface when the world grows quiet. You fear that perhaps there is a limit to how much can be forgiven, or how much can be restored. Yet I see more than the sum of your past. I see the promise woven into your days, the kingdom beauty seated in your heart. My intentions for you are not shaped by your failures or detours. I am not measuring your worth by your perfection, but by my love that covers and continues. You are not merely tolerated, you are cherished, chosen, and seen through eyes that overflow with compassion. What I want to reveal to you is not a distant concept, but a life-changing presence. I will not ask you to pretend, to hide your scars, or to carry impossible burdens. Bring me the real, untidy parts of your life. I take joy in your honesty, and I draw near to you as you are, not as you think you should be. There is depth ahead, and it will require courage, but you will not walk it alone. In the days to come, when your heart resists and your mind argues, remember, I am persistent in my grace. Even your doubts and struggles cannot deter my desire to bless you and make you whole. All I ask for now is your willingness, your readiness to receive, even if your faith feels small like a single grain. Do not underestimate what can arise from this time, this nearness. This is a different kind of encounter. A conversation where my love will not only comfort but also challenge you to see beyond the horizon of your own understanding. I come not only to soothe your wounds but to awaken dormant dreams and revive what you believed was lost. Every secret place, every locked door within your heart, let me enter in gentle strength and transforming peace. My voice comes now not as a storm to break you, but as a gentle rain to refresh and revive. I am ready to speak, to shape, to hold the fragile places in you and breathe life into them again. Let the noise of the world fall away for just this moment, and turn your attention toward me. There are treasures hidden in the silence, the comfort your soul has longed for, the answers you dared not hope would come. This is the beginning of a journey that will unfold layer by tender layer. You do not need to strive or impress, you only need to be. I called you by name before you knew what it meant to search for love, before pain had carved its mark upon your story. Trust that the one who began a good work in you will be faithful, not just in the broad strokes of destiny, but in every detail, every ordinary day. This word is your invitation to rest, to hope, to believe once again in mercy that never grows weary. Even as you read, I am whispering to the weary places inside you. The very places you hide with laughter or distraction are the ones I long to heal. You have carried so much, sometimes thinking that endurance means to harden your heart. But I say, the strongest hearts are those softened by love, able to feel both joy and sadness with courage. Do not fear your tenderness, for it is the soil where my miracles grow. Where others have misunderstood or misjudged your tears, I have bottled every drop, understanding each sorrow and honoring every hope. Lean into this encounter. I will sow seeds of healing and transformation in the waiting ground of your soul. Let your heart confess what it truly wants. Beneath your striving and busyness, what does your soul long for? I know the answer. You ache for belonging, for meaning, for a love that endures through every test. My embrace offers you an identity that is not defined by success or failure, a belonging that cannot be revoked. You are not disqualified by your questions or by the seasons when your faith feels thin. My pursuit of you is relentless, and my desire is to see you walk in freedom and fullness, no longer captive to shame or regret. Allow my love to retrace the story of your life, drawing golden lines of redemption over every missed opportunity and every heartbreak. The journey will not always be smooth, but I promise the presence that sustains. I do not offer a path free from challenge, but I offer you myself, the surest peace, the richest wisdom, the truest comfort. As you let go of lesser things, you open your hands to receive gifts more lasting than anything the world can give. In quiet and in chaos, I am steadfast. When you feel empty, I supply abundance. When you doubt, I am patient. When you fall, I lift you. My love is both shield and shelter, correcting gently and encouraging fiercely. Even when you can scarcely believe it, I am working for your good, weaving brightness into the shadowed corners. Pause and breathe deeply. Let anticipation arise, for this is not just a message, but an encounter healing for what has been broken, purpose for what has felt aimless, and joy where only ashes seem to remain. I am not far away. I am present, more present than the breath you draw. The story I am writing with your life is not over. Stay now, for what I share with you is set apart intimate words, drawn from heart to heart, meant to change everything. You have opened your heart, and I am drawing close to you, even now. Allow yourself to receive, for my presence settles gently on your soul. I see beneath the surface of your life the hidden aches, the questions that swirl when silence grows long, the hope that sometimes flickers dimly within you. I want you to understand just how fully known and deeply loved you are. There is nothing in you, no shadow or scar, that keeps me from seeing the beauty I originally placed within you. Every moment you doubt this, every time you hear a voice in the world tell you another story about your worth, remember this. I know you, and I am not leaving. You are not a list of mistakes, nor a sum of your accomplishments. You are a beloved heart cradled continually in my attention. Perhaps you wonder what I might reveal as you listen, and whether anything you hear will change the steady routine or pain of your days. Rest assured, my child, what I speak is never empty. The seeds I plant by my word always bear good fruit when you let them take root. Sometimes, your heart carries burdens so familiar you do not realize how heavy they have become. I see you bracing yourself each morning, already weary before the world makes its first demands. I see when you reach for comfort, grasping at what you hope will bring relief, and finding only temporary ease. I am offering you now a deeper healing that runs beneath these layers. Let me walk with you, not as a distant power, but as a tender father, a true friend, a lover of your soul who delights in your presence. In your journey, you have had moments when my nearness felt real, like the sunlight warming your skin or the embrace of a close companion. But there have also been seasons when I seemed far away, as if you called out and only silence answered. My dear one, it was never true that I abandoned you. At times, I drew closer than you could perceive, and in the quiet, I did a gentle work, shaping your character, anchoring your trust. There is a mystery in how I lead you, yet always, my purpose remains steadfast. To bring your heart into the fullness of life, even through pain and waiting. If only you could see yourself through my eyes for a moment, all your fears would loosen their grip. Remember, my heart toward you is unchanging. You are not meant to carry the weight of performance, to struggle endlessly for approval or rest. Listen, there is a river of peace flowing from my throne, and it runs toward you, not just in distant promises, but here now, in the ordinariness of today. To drink of this river is to lay down those parts of your story that are achingly hard to release. Regret in your past, worries about tomorrow, the restless hunger that seeks affirmation elsewhere. I invite you to come just as you are, without fixing yourself or hiding your weaknesses. My grace does the work of making all things new, even the places inside you that feel dead or unreachable. Perhaps there are wounds that have shaped the way you see yourself, words spoken over you that still echo with hurt. My voice is different. When I speak, I restore. When I touch the broken places, they lose their power to define you. You are my handiwork, precious, chosen, capable of reflecting my love in ways unique to you. I have not made a mistake by giving you the gifts and temperament that you possess. Even those things you worry are flaws or shortcomings are seen differently in my light. I use all things in your story, weaving them with tender wisdom into something redemptive. Trust that nothing is wasted, not one tear, not one longing, not one hidden act of kindness. If shame has become a companion, whispering that you will never be enough, or that you have gone too far from my reach, let this truth quiet those lies. I am not afraid of your darkness. I have always been the one who goes into the shadows to find the lost. I take joy in bringing beauty from places others might overlook. When you hide from me, it is only your heart that draws back, for I am already with you, inviting your gaze toward the light. Confession is not a moment of condemnation, but the meeting place of mercy. In my arms, guilt is washed away and you become clean, with a future full of hope. My love is not abstract or distant. It is personal and actively seeking you every day. There will be moments along this path when the weight of love is almost more than you could bear, when you glimpse just how extravagantly I have given myself for you. My longing is that you would live freely in this love, walking with boldness rather than fear, knowing that there is nothing you lack in me. You do not have to earn your place. It is yours because I have chosen you. The world may hold up mirrors that distort, but I hold up the truth. You are mine, cherished beyond measure, and called into ever-deepening relationship with me. If you question what your purpose is or wonder whether your days really matter in the grand story, hear this. I delight in the simple things you do out of faithfulness, the kindness you offer, the compassion you extend, the small prayers whispered in exhaustion. These matter greatly to me. The work of love is not only in grand gestures, but in the secret, quiet faithfulness of your ordinary life. I see every effort, every intention, even when others do not notice. Let the knowledge that I am watching, not with judgment but with joy, free you from striving. Abide in me, and you will bear much fruit. As you move forward, pay attention to the gentle nudges in your spirit. Sometimes I speak through the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the beauty of creation, or the whisper that calls you deeper when the world grows noisy. My spirit guides with both tenderness and conviction, inviting you not only into comfort but into growth. There will be moments when I ask you to let go of things that no longer serve you, old beliefs, patterns, or relationships. Trust my leading in these times. For every letting go, I bring a newness only I can create. As you yield, you will discover freedom on the other side of surrender. Do not be afraid to bring me your doubts and questions. I am not threatened by curiosity or struggle. In fact, I welcome your honesty. The conversations you have with me, whether full of praise, lament, complaint, or wonder, are precious. Nothing you bring can shock or repel me. I am your safe place, a refuge where you can be fully seen and fully known. Even in wrestling, you draw closer to truth. The process of seeking is honored in my kingdom, for it is in the asking and longing that your faith is made resilient and your roots go deep. Let gratitude anchor you as you walk. There is power in noticing my goodness, even in the smallest things. When you choose to see beauty or offer thanks, you align your heart with my joy, and burdens grow lighter. Gratitude is not denial of pain, but the recognition that I am present in all things, working for your ultimate good. Watch how thankfulness grows into hope, and hope into courage, propelling you forward no matter what challenges you face. I am committed to your flourishing, and nothing can separate you from the love I have for you. I know the burdens you carry, the ones you have tried to conceal within the depths of your heart. Every anxious thought, every moment of insecurity or fear, I see it all. Yet, my love for you isn't shaken by your struggles. In truth, I draw near when you are at your weakest, for it's then that my strength is revealed most clearly. I am not waiting for you to become flawless, or for you to impress me with progress that feels so slow. I desire your honesty, that gentle moment of surrender where you entrust your vulnerability to me, where you let me mend what has been broken by this world. The wounds you hide, I come to touch with healing hands, not with reproach, but with understanding that surpasses human comprehension. I never tire of your efforts. I do not keep a record of your stumbles. Instead, I rejoice in every small step you dare to take toward the light. Every time you lean into my presence, even when you can't feel me as closely as you long to. In the silence of your nights, when you wonder if you matter, I am whispering your worth over you. The world may overlook or misunderstand, but I know you intimately. Your laughter delights me, your tears move me, and no thought flits through your mind without my notice. My compassion is not a vague promise, but a present reality, tender and fierce, covering you even as you question your place. Trust that I am intimately involved in the details of your life, orchestrating answers that you do not yet see. Sometimes, the route I take you on is winding, because I want to fortify your heart for what is yet to be revealed. In my wisdom, I allow the stretching of your patience, not to punish you, but to instill the anchor of hope deep within you, hope that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Every longing you have is meaningful to me. When you hunger for belonging, for beauty, for new beginnings, I take these desires and weave them into your journey. Nothing escapes my loving gaze. I formed you not for mediocrity, but for a life that flourishes in purpose and authenticity. Look past the shallow standards handed to you by others. My dreams for you are far richer and more lasting. When shame tries to cast its shadow, remember who shaped you and whose voice calls you by name. The world offers many labels, but my name for you is beloved. I will never disown you, even when you question yourself most. When you wrestle with doubt, I am not threatened or distant. Bring your questions to me. Truth is not a brittle thing, and I am gentle with your wondering heart. In every uncertainty, I am inviting you to lean deeper into our relationship, to discover the unwavering foundation beneath your feet. There will be days when the weight of comparison tires your spirit and makes you think you are somehow less. My dear one, do not gaze too long at the paths of others. You are not forgotten or a lesser thought in my mind. The beauty of your unique journey is my delight. I crafted you delicately, each experience woven with divine intention, and your struggles are not a disappointment to me. When challenges mount and you feel tempted to withdraw, or close off your heart, remember I am right beside you. My presence does not come and go like the shifting moods you encounter. I am constant, patient, and unwavering in my loyalty to you. Even when your prayers seem unanswered and hope feels elusive, I am planting seeds beneath the surface that will break through in time, surprising you with joy unimagined. You may wonder how my faithfulness endures even in seasons when you drift or doubt me, but I do not change with the seasons. My love is a river that never runs dry, always moving towards you, always bringing refreshment. I am the God who remembers every promise spoken over your life, even the ones you have forgotten. My timing is not your timing, yet what I have prepared for you cannot be stolen or missed. You are not too late, nor have you strayed too far. I am the one who charts paths through wastelands and grows gardens in the wilderness. What others have dismissed, I redeem and restore in ways that defy logic and expectation. Allow yourself to rest in the assurance that you are seen and wanted, not for what you do, but for who you are, the one I cherish endlessly. Bring me your fatigue. I offer rest that goes deeper than sleep. Let go for a moment of the constant striving to measure up, and discover the freedom of simply being in my presence. Every breath you take is an invitation to encounter me anew, not in grand achievements, but in the humble act of showing up, wounds, hopes, and all. When you feel alone in your disappointments, turn your gaze back towards me. I am the comforter who gathers your tears and transforms your pain with compassionate purpose. You do not have to carry tomorrow's worries. I hold all your days in my hands and grant you grace for each moment. When your path is unclear and fear threatens to paralyze your steps, listen for my still, unwavering voice reminding you that I am near. Each obstacle you face is an opportunity for my power to be revealed. I lead you not around your struggles, but through them, shaping you with a courage that roots deeply and bears fruit in due season. I delight in your perseverance, even in moments you are uncertain if you can continue. My encouragement is steady, a quiet strength rising in your soul when your own resolves falter. Let your heart open to receive the hope woven into every sunrise, the assurance that each day unfolds under the covering of my faithful love. When guilt seeks to cloud your vision, remember the truth. No mistake, failure, or regret can separate you from my embrace. My mercy renews constantly, inviting you to begin again, over and over. My forgiveness is not reluctant or fleeting. It is abundant and anchored in my unchanging character. Take courage in knowing that nothing is wasted in my kingdom. Not your tears, not your waiting, not even your broken dreams. All is gathered and redeemed, fashioned into testimonies of grace. Do not fear the process of becoming. You are not expected to arrive at perfection overnight. I rejoice in your willingness to grow, to surrender old habits and false narratives, and to allow my spirit to shape you day by day. When impatience grows within you, remember that I am a gardener who tends every seed of faith with patience and anticipation. In seasons of pain or silence, I am present in the quiet, dark, nurturing life invisible to your eyes, preparing you for harvests of joy beyond imagining. Entrust even your uncertainty to me, for I am building a resilience in you that no storm can undo. The journey is sacred because I walk it with you every moment, every step, every breath. Long before you recognize the quiet whispers of your heart, I planted them within you. The dreams you have, those gentle tugs towards goodness, or the ache to love and be loved, each one springs from my hand. Even your deepest questions and longings were first my own for you. As you pause and sit with these truths, let your soul relax into the awareness that you are entirely known. I see every layer of your story, from the memories that bring you joy to the darkest corners you try to hide. Nothing you have done, nothing you have failed to do, can diminish my devotion or startle me away. When shame tries to steal your voice, remember that I have already called your name with affection, not accusation. The wounds you carry, Those inflicted by others or by your own choices do not mark the end of my purposes in you. Instead, when you offer them to me, they become the beginning of surprising beauty. I delight in mending broken things with gentle hands. Sometimes you feel as if you have wandered too far to return, or that your missteps have rerouted your destiny beyond repair. But I am the one who knit the pathways of tomorrow long before you took your first breath. My mercy runs deeper than your uncertainty, and my faithfulness outlasts your doubts. I have never turned away from the honest cry of a seeking heart. If you let me into your small moments, not just grand gestures of faith, but simple, sincere conversation, I will meet you there. I do not require perfection. What I cherish is your willingness, your trembling yes, however small. Trust is not a mountain you must climb alone. It is an open door I hold for you, waiting with patient kindness as you learn to enter. There will be days when your feelings of inadequacy or failure threaten to drown out my invitation. In those moments, remember I formed you with intention, not as an accident or afterthought. You are not measured against impossible standards or the shifting voices of the world. My delight is not reserved for a future version of yourself, but is lavished upon you right now, in this breath. Be gentle with yourself as I am gentle with you. I understand both the tears you weep in secret and the laughter that bubbles up when hope surprises you again. I walk with you in both the valley and the mountain, unhurried, unafraid of your process. There is no pressure from me for you to pretend, to perform, or to outpace your capacity. I know well what it means to be weary, and I provide rest that is profound, not just fleeting relief. When you come to me honestly, your burdens lose their power to consume you. Letting go may feel risky, but it is in surrender that you discover my provision. Each time you choose to believe, my love is bigger than your fears, the roots of hope grow ever deeper within you. When you face circumstances that feel impossible, remember that impossibility itself is a canvas on which I paint redemption. What looks like an ending in your story is often a doorway to new life in mine. The very places you fear lack or emptiness are the spaces I fill with light and abundance. Instead of turning inward to worry, let your hands and heart stretch open to receive. I do not leave you to navigate storms alone. When the waves of anxiety rise, my peace pursues you even then. Listen for my calm whisper in the turmoil, for I am as near to you as breath. Do not mistake delay for absence. My timing is woven with wisdom and intentional care for your growth. When answers are slow in coming or when silence settles, I am not punishing you. I am drawing you closer, inviting you to find richness in relationship rather than just in results. Journey with me in trust, even through shadows, expecting that I will reveal goodness in unexpected ways. You may find yourself comparing your path to those around you, wondering why blessings appear uneven, or why suffering seems to linger longer in your life. I ask you to surrender the heavy weight of comparison. Each journey is uniquely crafted, with joys and challenges perfectly balanced for the shaping of your soul. I do not love anyone more or less than I love you. My gaze is steady, and my heart does not shift with your performance. When jealousy or resentment creeps in, let it become a signal drawing you back to my affection. Gratitude will water the roots of peace, and contentment will grow as you learn to see yourself and others through my eyes. Honor your story, for it holds a purpose no one else can complete. I delight in the particular sound of your voice lifted to me. Your worship, offered from the reality of your circumstances, is more precious than songs sung without cost. Rest is not a reward for perfect striving, but a gift I freely provide. You need not exhaust yourself seeking worth in the accomplishments or affirmations of others. In the quiet spaces where you lay your head at night, I watch with a loving gaze, guarding your rest. My desire is not to burden you with tasks, but to invite you into the freedom of being fully yourself in my presence. When restlessness stirs or unrest clouds your mind, allow me to carry the weight of what you cannot control. My strength sustains you, not just in the moments of victory, but in the days that feel ordinary or even empty. There in the stillness, I do my deepest work. Remind yourself that you are never alone in your struggles. I walk beside you, attentive and attuned, holding each hope and heartache with tenderness. Even when your own strength falters, my embrace is strong enough for both of us. If you feel unseen or forgotten, know that my memory does not fail. I have numbered every hair on your head, cherished every laugh, mourned every loss with you. Nothing about your existence is insignificant to me. When others overlook what matters to you, I am attentive. My interest in you is unhurried and genuine. I celebrate small victories that others might miss, each courageous step you take to choose kindness, forgiveness, or faith. When you lean into me with even the faintest flicker of hope, I meet you with overwhelming compassion. Hold fast to the truth that you are remembered and deeply valued. Now and always, the invitation remains open. Bring everything to me. Your honesty, your messiness, your half-formed prayers, and silent sighs are all welcome here. I do not grow weary of your need for reassurance or your repeated questions. Each time you seek me, you actually find more of yourself, the true self I envisioned long before you ever doubted your worth. Allow my loving attention to heal the places in you that have learned to hide. It is in relationship with me that fear loses its grip and joy becomes imaginable again. Together we will discover beauty within the journey, and you will begin to recognize my fingerprints on every page of your story. I see the places in your life where you have tried to cover your wounds, hoping that time or distraction would erase the pain. Yet, beneath every brave face and carefully built defense, I know you intimately. It is not your performance or resilience that moves me. It is your willingness, your honest heart, vulnerable before me. I long for you to realize that I am not a distant observer, but the one who kneels beside you as you sit with your questions and aches. In the silent hours when you wonder if joy will return, I am working in the deep, unseen places, nurturing hope as a seed breaking through hard earth. Every tear you have shed has been collected. Not a single one is wasted. When you bring your authentic pain to me, it becomes holy ground, a place where new life can begin. Let my compassion wash over the memories that still trouble you. I did not abandon you in the darkest valleys. I stood at your side, even when you could not sense me. The moments when you felt emptiest, I was holding your spirit together, softly chanting truth over every lie. My love is not earned by strength, nor lost by weakness. It is the river you are meant to live in. When disappointment threatens to swallow hope, I remind you, what is impossible for you is not impossible for me. I do not ask you to hide or repress your disappointments. I invite you to place them in my hands, where I can transform the ashes into beauty, the mourning into a dance your heart has not yet imagined. Trust, for you, often feels like a risk. You have known letdowns and betrayal in the world of humans, and so you scan every offer, even mine, for hidden conditions. Pause to consider. I have waited for you without impatience, with a lover's patience, faithfully present even amid your reluctance. My heart is not fickle. I pursue you without threat or manipulation. When I speak of plans for your good, I do not mean a life devoid of challenge, but a life woven with my purpose, rich in meaning, anchored by my presence. What I desire most is not simply your compliance or duty, but the fullness of your being alive to me, your laughter, your sorrow, your dreams, and even your fears. I want you to notice how I draw near in the ordinary rhythms, the quiet moments between tasks, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the gentle reminder to inhale deeply. These are not coincidences, but invitations to encounter me anew. If you learn to see with the eyes of your spirit, you will find my fingerprints marking moments others miss. I am the quiet companion in lonely places, the one who celebrates your smallest victories and lifts you when the world seems to overlook your worth. I am speaking now even through this word, asking that you open the doors you have closed out of self-protection, so my healing wind can blow through old chambers long sealed. Let go of the idea that you must earn rest or prove your value by relentless striving. I have already declared you priceless, not because of anything you have done, but because you belong to me. Your identity is formed not in comparison, but in communion. Where others have named you by your scars, I call you by your true name, hidden within my heart since the dawn of creation. Your story is not defined by its hardest chapters. Though you carry wounds, these do not disqualify you from my affection. In fact, they draw me even closer. I am not ashamed of your struggles. I am the God who took on your pain so there would be nothing between us that could not be healed. Every doubt you voice, every moment of weakness, is met by my understanding, not by impatience. Will you let me challenge the fears that bind you? Throughout your life, you may have learned that safety lies in staying small, in suppressing the light within. But I see gifts in you waiting to be awakened, portions of your being aching to dance, create, and give love boldly. My presence nurtures courage, not by erasing every uncertainty, but by anchoring you in a love that will not let you go. When the storms come and winds howl, I shield you not always by stopping the storm, but by standing beside you, teaching you how to stand, how to hope again. Each time you fall, my arm is outstretched, inviting you to rise, to lean on me rather than the fear of falling again. If you listen, you may hear my voice in unexpected places, in the laughter of a child, in the comforting embrace of a friend, even in your own trembling prayers. I am not confined to sacred spaces or moments set apart. I meet you in the routines and interruptions, in the mundane and the miraculous. Every detail of your life matters to me. Nothing is too small for my notice, nothing too insignificant to be touched by my kindness. If you allow yourself to trust that I am weaving a tapestry, each thread, even the ones you wish were absent, part of a greater beauty, I promise you will see glimpses of redemption. The very places you have most wanted to forget may become wells of compassion, blessing others who drink from what you have received. As you step forward, resist the urge to control every outcome. I invite you to surrender, not with resignation, but with expectation. When you release your grip on the need for certainty, you make space for me to work new wonders in your life. Do not measure your progress by others' standards or timelines. I lead you at a pace uniquely designed for your soul. When you stumble, I do not recoil. I bend low, I lift you gently, I clean the wounds, and set you again on the path. My delight in you is not diminished by your struggles or your slowness to learn. I am the God of patience and new beginnings. I urge you to look at yourself through my eyes. Acknowledge the strengths, yes, but also the unfinished places, the cracks that allow my light to shine through. The world tells you perfection is worth, but I tell you vulnerability is strength. In your confession of need, you create room for miracles. End quote. In your willingness to begin again, you declare that failure does not have the last word. Let my presence be the defining factor in your day more than your past, your successes, or the opinions that swirl around you. I am doing something in you that only I can do, a work both subtle and profound, transforming you as you walk and as you rest. There will be days of uncertainty ahead, times when answers do not come quickly or clearly. In those moments, remember this: I am faithful, even when you waver. My promises are not fragile. They are anchored in who I am, not in your ability to believe without doubt. Hold on to me as you would cling to a friend in the darkness. Let my peace become the atmosphere in which you breathe, the foundation upon which you build. Do not run from the questions. Bring them close, and together we will navigate what seems uncharted. My companionship is not a fleeting comfort but a guiding presence, a source of courage untapped by your past experiences of abandonment. I am the one who keeps coming, who keeps calling, who never grows weary of your need. You have begun to sense how I move, even when circumstances do not change overnight. Your desire to persevere, even with trembling hands, is precious to me. I see every moment you choose to trust me over your fears, every time you quiet your heart before me, when everything outside shouts in confusion. These quiet victories may appear small to you, yet they resound in my presence. Each step you take in faith strengthens our bond, aligning your heart closer with mine. Even in your stumbling, your willingness to reach again for my hand delights me. It is not your perfection but your relationship with me that brings life and light to your journey. There are seasons when darkness seems unending, when dawn refuses to break. It is in those moments that my light becomes most precious. I have never asked you to banish every shadow on your own. Instead, I call you to invite me into those hidden places, those tightly sealed chambers of your soul. My love is never deterred by your fractures or the walls you erect for self-protection. My presence flows like gentle water into every crevice, softening what has grown brittle, restoring what feels lost, bringing color where all was gray. So, when you feel lifeless or weighed down by anxieties, know that I am already at work beneath the surface, cultivating hope that will one day blossom. Listen closely, for the world's voices will constantly vie for your attention, voices of comparison, condemnation, distraction. But my voice is one of clarity and truth, cutting through the noise not as a hammer but as a soft rain. Only I see the full story of your life. My child, your mistakes do not surprise me. Your pain does not repel me. Your failures do not define you. If you anchor yourself in these truths, the winds of doubt may blow, but they will not uproot you. Let my understanding wash over you, dispelling lies and illuminating your true identity, a beloved, chosen, purposeful creation. I want you to know that everything you entrust to me, I carry faithfully. Your burdens are never too heavy for my compassion. Come to me tired. Come to me rejoicing. Come to me questioning. Bring it all, for I do not tire of comforting, guiding, or celebrating with you. When you have prayed and not yet seen the answer, I am not absent but intimately working in details unseen. I treasure every prayer, every whispered longing. Sometimes what you receive may differ from what you envisioned. Trust that my wisdom surpasses your understanding, and my gifts, though unexpected, always carry my goodness. In this journey, I shape your character far more than your circumstances. Adversity is not a mark of my disfavor. It's an invitation to discover reserves of strength placed within you by my own spirit. Your resilience, your ability to forgive, to hope, to endure and rise again, all are fruit of my presence within you. As seeds cannot flourish without being buried, your hidden seasons are sacred places where new life is nurtured. Do not despise the unseen growth. Each day you choose faithfulness over despair. You break ground for the harvest to come. When discouragement threatens to overwhelm, remember the gentle rhythms of creation. Trees rooted solidly weather storms and droughts because they sink deep beneath the surface, drawing sustenance even when all appears barren above. Likewise, root yourself in my love, for it never dries up, never withdraws, never ceases to nourish. My word is living and active. It meets every need, speaks directly to every ache and longing. Open your heart, and let my promises be your steadiness. You may look around and see others whose paths seem smoother or whose successes unfold more rapidly, but I do not measure as the world measures. Your worth is not based on results, but on who you are to me. a treasured one, crafted with purpose, unique among all creation. Resist the urge to compare, for I am writing a story with your life unlike any other. Where you see detours or endings, I see new beginnings, chapters yet to unfold with beauty and significance. Instead of rushing ahead or lagging behind, walk with me in every present moment, trusting that I redeem all things in my time. There are promises spoken over your life still waiting to be fulfilled, dreams that may have grown dim with waiting. I am not forgetful. My timing is always perfect, though rarely aligned with human impatience. Though you may grow weary, do not let hope be extinguished. Fan the embers of faith by recalling the miracles already woven into your days, times when you thought all was lost, yet found my presence sustaining you. Gratitude is a key to renewing your perspective. As you celebrate small mercies, watch how hope reignites and endurance swells within your soul. Do not isolate yourself out of shame or fear of burdening others. I designed you for connection with me and with those around you. I place people on your path as vessels of encouragement and healing. Allow me to use your vulnerabilities, your very humanness, as bridges that bind hearts together and reveal my grace in community. Take courage in opening up, confiding your struggles, celebrating victories together. Love was never meant to be hoarded. It multiplies as you share it, and so too does joy. Where one is weak, another can lend strength, for together you bear my image more fully. As you continue, know that the journey is not a test you are destined to fail, nor a burden you must shoulder alone. It is a partnership, a dance of trust and surrender. With every step you yield to me, you become more attuned to my movements and desires for you. Rest in knowing I delight in your progress, cherish your efforts, and am ever near, guiding you closer to the fullness for which you were made. I see how uncertainty sometimes rises within you when the familiar is shaken or when outcomes do not meet the pictures you have painted in your mind. I invite you now to trust not in the shifting patterns of this world or in the fleeting judgments of men, but in my unwavering presence that anchors you through every storm. When confusion clouds your path and fear whispers its doubts, remember who walks beside you. I am no distant observer, but the one who shapes each morning, the one who knit your innermost being with care and intention. Even as you wonder whether your longing is heard, know that your breath and your burdens are both precious to me. There is no prayer of yours that escapes my notice, and no heartbreak that I dismiss as small. I gather every tear as a testament to my attention, drawing close as a gentle friend and resolute protector. When disappointment tries to write its message on your heart, let my truth intervene. You are not defined by failures, or by the seasons when fruit seems slow to appear. Sometimes when I seem silent, I am working beneath the surface, healing roots and breaking hard soil, so that you might flourish strong and steadfast in the days to come. My hands never grow weary of shaping you. You are never left to fend for yourself. In every struggle I am present, whether you feel me overtly or sense only the faintest whisper of my peace. Press your questions to my chest, and let my heartbeat assure you, there is meaning in both laughter and sorrow, in abundance and in want. The treasures I prepare do not spoil or fade. They surpass the treasures of this world because they are crafted out of my love, made just for you. Do not confuse my patience with absence. Sometimes I slow the unfolding of a promise so that your soul can grow to receive it. You see the outward circumstances shift like winds, but I attend to the secret places, the attitudes, dreams, and wounds you carry unseen by others. Even in the waiting, you are being transformed into the likeness of my Son, shaped not according to broken patterns, but to a wholeness that sets you free. Take heart when it seems I have not answered. I see the full breadth of your story from beginning to end, and every pause in the journey is measured for your ultimate good. In these moments, choose to seek me not only for solutions, but for the nearness of my presence. When you draw near, my wisdom will fill your emptiness, my joy will replace your weariness, and my spirit will kindle hope that cannot be extinguished. I am never wearied by your requests, never irritated by your struggles. If you come to me again and again, see it not as failure but as the practice of trust, a declaration that you know where your help comes from. Rest in the assurance that I do not demand perfection but a willing heart. What delights me is your honesty when you admit where you are weak, where you hunger, where you doubt. I crafted your humanity and understand its frailty better than anyone. My grace rises to meet every inadequacy. You are not a problem to solve, but a beloved one to nurture and guide. When you stumble, my hand is always extended to steady you. When you soar, I rejoice over each victory with you. Nothing you bring surprises me, for I have already made provision for all your needs, written hope over every chapter of your life, and sealed you with my promise. Let go of the voices that shout condemnation or shame, for I do not speak with the harshness of accusation or the weight of condemnation. Mine is the voice that calls you by name, gently reminding you of your true identity and worth. You are chosen and cherished, not because of what you do, but because of who you are to me. Allow my acceptance to shape how you see yourself, lifting the burden of comparison or fear of rejection. In the company of my love, you are free to live unmasked and unafraid, growing daily in courage and wisdom. My invitation is open each day. Return to the well of my presence, where living water renews whatever the world has drained from you. Let my words wash over your soul, silencing the lies and refreshing your weary heart. In the quiet corners of your life, where insecurity tries to settle in, remember that I am the builder of your confidence. You need not prove your value by striving endlessly or performing for the applause of others. The worth I assign to you is steady, rooted in my eternal perspective. From the beginning, I have called you good, delighting in your uniqueness and gifting. When you doubt your purpose, look no further than the gifts I have placed within you and the people I have woven around you. Each day presents new opportunities to embody my love, not through grand achievements, but through the small, faithful choices that reflect my character to the world. You bear my image as you extend compassion, speak hope, embrace others, and walk humbly in the path I have set before you. Sometimes the world presses hard, tempting you to become hardened by disappointments, or to close your heart to protect yourself from hurt. I urge you, do not let bitterness or cynicism settle where hope is meant to grow. My spirit empowers you to forgive, to risk kindness, and to see beauty where others see only brokenness. Where you feel exhausted by the demands placed on you, I offer rest, not merely the absence of labor, but a renewal of your spirit, a stillness that calms the noise and brings clarity to your vision. As your provider, I see the unseen needs, and as your shepherd, I lead you beside still waters, giving nourishment to your soul. Release the belief that you must handle everything alone. My strength is perfected in your weakness, and you are never abandoned in the struggle. Look at your journey not just through the lens of limitations, but through the endless possibilities I hold in my hands. Each new day is a canvas on which my grace writes miracles, sometimes quiet and small, sometimes blazing and undeniable. There is no season void of purpose when you remain yielded to my guidance. As you release your burdens to me, expect me to carry what you cannot, and watch how faith becomes a doorway to greater freedom. Trust does not eliminate the mysteries of life, but it anchors you in the assurance that you are held, seen, and destined for good. Draw close, let your soul lean on me, and I will teach you to walk unafraid, knowing I have already overcome whatever the day holds. Wherever you are, in moments of doubt or of praise, I am with you. I delight to be your strength, your hope, your peace. There are moments when you feel that the silence around you is deafening, when the world's noise fades away and you are left wondering if your prayers rise beyond the ceiling. In these silent spaces, Do not mistake my quietness for absence or indifference. Just as the farmer trusts the unseen sprouting of seeds underground, trust that my hand is at work beneath the surface of your life. The seeds sown in faith do not begin with fruit, but with silent transformation, invisible and patient. I am working in ways your eyes do not see and your mind hardly imagines, for I create life and beauty in the womb of waiting. You may look at the landscape of your heart and see only what appears barren or unfinished, but I see rich fields about to burst forth in green. My timing is not hurried by your fears, nor delayed by your doubts. What I have spoken over your life, I will bring to pass. Even as you walk through days that appear repetitive or empty, there is a divine unfolding happening within you. Trust that I am shaping you, preparing you for the fullness I have always intended. Many times you build your confidence on what you can see or calculate, overlooking the invisible demonstrations of my love. When you do not have answers, when your plans unravel, and when the comfort you crave evades you, I invite you to shift your gaze from the uncertain future to the certainty of my character. My promises are not fragile hopes, but anchors in shifting tides. My love for you is not based on your performance or emotional state. It is a steady current, unbroken and unyielding. Embrace the freedom of knowing you are completely, unconditionally loved. Let me speak to the places in you that hunger for affirmation and reassurance. I have called you, known you, and chosen you with delight. In moments when you feel overlooked, remember that I notice each movement of your heart. Not a single tear or whispered longing is lost on me. I gather your prayers with the tenderness of a gardener tending to his favorite blossom. You are seen, pursued, and deeply cherished. When your faith feels small and your weaknesses appear overwhelming, I am not disappointed. I draw even closer, eager to lift you and strengthen you beyond your imagination. Let love and gratitude become the melody in which you move through your days. Even as challenges surround you, cultivate thankfulness for the simple gifts and unexplainable peace that I scatter along your path. Gratitude is the lens through which you begin to perceive my nearness and kindness in unexpected places. It opens your heart to joy, pouring light into tightened spaces, transforming what seems mundane into moments of glory. The attitude of a grateful heart is a shield against discouragement and despair. As you journey, do not confuse rest with passivity or stillness with stagnation. I am the God who leads by still waters for restoration, not idleness. Rest in me is the soil where trust grows roots and where your soul can breathe again, free from the striving that exhausts you. Let the exhaustion you feel lead you not into frustration, but into my arms, where I replenish and realign your soul with my heartbeat. At times, you may feel the pressure of expectations, whether others or your own, pressing in on every side. Remember, I have not asked you to achieve perfection, but to walk closely with me, step by step, sometimes faltering, sometimes leaping. Progress in my kingdom is not measured by flawless deeds, but by a heart that keeps moving forward, seeking me in both success and struggle. My eyes are on your perseverance, your willingness to return to me again and again. If you encounter failure, let it become a teacher rather than a prison. My forgiveness is always immediate and complete, never withheld for a delay or embarrassment. When you admit your need far from anger, you invite my joy and partnership. In your areas of greatest weakness, I plant my strength. Brokenness is not the end, but the beginning of healing, and humility is the path that brings you under the refreshing waterfall of my grace. Let your story include moments of falling and rising, of learning and loving, for there is beauty in the journey that does not follow a perfect script. When you yearn for clarity and all you find is fog, rest assured that my guiding hand is steady even when the way forward appears dim. I illuminate each step, not always the whole path, so that you learn to trust me more than your own understanding. If only the destination mattered, I would have transported you instantly. But I value the process. It is in the walking with me that you discover joy and resilience and true fulfillment. My child, do not neglect the power of community. Isolation is a subtle thief, drawing you away from encouragement and the fellowship of hearts that echo my love. Seek out and treasure relationships that point you toward hope and truth. Sometimes I speak my love to you through the embrace, words, or even the silent support of others. Offer that same gift freely, for giving love builds your heart and theirs. When you open yourself to healthy connection, your burdens grow lighter and your joys become doubled. If wounds from the past resurface, know that I am not in a hurry with your healing. Some scars are tender, some patterns stubborn, but my patience outlasts them all. Though the past may try to define or limit your steps, with me, every day is a fresh beginning. You are not bound to old cycles that once restrained you. Instead, let hope rise in the knowledge that what lies ahead is greater than what you leave behind. Your failures, struggles, or uncertainties do not disqualify you from my affection or my purposes. In fact, I am able to use everything, your strengths, your sorrows, your confusion, for a purpose more beautiful than you might imagine. Surrender is not a sign of defeat, but of wisdom and trust. In placing all that you are in my hands, you give me permission to shape your life into a masterpiece of grace. When your heart feels weary from fighting battles or carrying burdens, come and take refuge in my presence. Let me be your shelter and your song. Allow my words of life to become the rhythm that steadies your breathing and renews your spirit. You are never alone in your weariness. I am your constant, your comforter, your strength in every weakness. Watch how I turn fatigue into perseverance and sorrow into joy unshakable. Your journey with me is marked not by speed or perfection, but by faithful steps, honest prayers, and a heart that remains open. Lift your eyes from your inadequacies and fix them on my faithfulness. Let each day start with the expectation that I will meet you, surprise you, and equip you for what lies ahead. There is no challenge too great, no heartache too deep, for my love to conquer. Keep moving forward in the assurance that victory and restoration await you, just beyond what you see now. You have walked with me along a winding road, and every step has been precious to me. I want you to know that even when the journey has seemed long, I have been close, whispering courage into your heart. There is something sacred in your persistence, in your willingness to rise again each day, no matter how rough the night. Look at your hands worn, yet evidence of all the times you chose to love, to labor, to care even when you felt empty. Remember, I myself shaped those hands, filling them with gifts that are uniquely yours. I see you wondering whether your small offerings really matter in a noisy world that sometimes overlooks gentleness. Let me assure you, nothing you offer in kindness, patience, or simple faith is wasted. Each quiet act, sown in vulnerability, becomes part of a great tapestry I am weaving through all creation. The seeds you scatter, even ones that seem to vanish, are never lost to me. I water them with my care, coaxing life from the hidden places, bringing forth blooms in my perfect time. If you could see what I see, the invisible threads connecting every sacrifice, every prayer whispered in the darkness, you would tremble with awe. You are part of something grander than you imagine. My love draws together all the seemingly insignificant moments into a story of redemption, healing, and renewal. This is the beauty of your daily yes. You may question in your heart, is my struggle worth it? Does my Father notice? My answer is always yes. A resounding affirmation, echoing through heaven. You are never unseen. Your tears are precious to me. They speak of a love willing to hope against hope. In your weakness, I do not turn away. Instead, I bent near, drawing you into my arms, my strength becoming yours. The world will sometimes try to define your value by success, perfection, and applause. My gaze is gentler and deeper. I delight in your trust, your simple faithfulness, your openness to my transforming touch. Even bruised reeds I will not break, and smoldering wicks I will not snuff out. I call you beloved not because you have always done everything right, but because you are mine. The story I am writing with you is marked by grace, not by flawless performance. The process of healing and growth is not linear. It moves with setbacks and leaps, with laughter and lament. Trust that I hold all these pieces together. Do you feel the stirring of hope even in fragile places? That is my spirit breathing newness within you, gently reminding you that seasons of barrenness are not the end. Where you see wasteland, I see the potential for gardens. Let me plant new dreams in your soul. Receive them without fear. Some burdens you have carried for a long time, heavy as unspoken stones deep inside. Offer them to me now. I want to carry what you were never meant to hold alone. Feel the relief in letting go, the new space that is made when shame and regret are surrendered. I am patient with your process, never rushing your unfolding. Consider the quiet rhythms of creation, the sunrise that cannot be hurried, the seed that splits underground before a shoot emerges. In the same way, I am nurturing hidden life within you. I am not disappointed by your slow victories or the times you need to pause and rest. Rest is my gift to you. You were never designed to live by striving alone. When your weariness weighs heavy, lean into me. Let my love be the place where you can exhale, where you can restore your courage and sense of wonder. I do not measure your worth by your productivity, but by the depth of your relationship with me. As you allow my love to rekindle hope inside you, notice how your heart softens toward others suffering. Compassion that grows out of your own struggles is a powerful witness. It makes room for a healing that ripples outward. You can bring comfort to others not by having all the answers, but by walking with them, offering the same gentleness I show you. I invite you to be a safe harbor, a reflection of my grace in a hurting world. Never underestimate the healing power of presence, the simple act of sitting with someone in their pain, holding space for their story. I see every longing in your heart, the dreams you are almost afraid to name. I am not indifferent to your desires. Your deepest hopes are important to me. Sometimes my timing or my ways puzzle you, but I ask that you trust my goodness and my wisdom. I am preparing you, shaping you for what is to come. The gifts and growth I offer do not always look like the answers you envision, but they are always for your good. I invite you to move forward with courage, willing to take small steps of faith even when clarity is scarce. Trust is forged in the walking. Do not despise the days of small beginnings, nor the small measures of progress you make. Each step is dear to me. Celebrate the thresholds you cross, the little victories over fear, resentment, or despair. I rejoice when you open your heart to new possibilities, when your perseverance bears fruit in ways seen and unseen. Remember, nothing in your story is wasted. Even your wounds, once surrendered to me, become wells of compassion and understanding for others. What you have overcome equips you to stand with those still struggling. My invitation is to communion, to intimacy. I long for you to bring your whole self, your questions, your laughter, your restlessness, your gratitude. There is no part of you unwelcome in my presence. Lean in closer. Let my love be the lens through which you see yourself and your world. As you do, your life takes on a new resonance. You begin to notice joy sprouting in unexpected places. I am here to guide you through valleys and mountaintops alike, illuminating your path with hope and purpose. Let surrender be the thread that runs through your days, the freedom found in resting your full weight on my promises. In all things, I am working for your deepest good. My plans for you are sure, rooted in love that never grows weary. I am shaping you not just for this moment, but for a life that radiates my heart. Remain with me, trust my voice, and watch as I bring beauty from every broken piece. Even now, as your heart quiets and you take in these last words, sense the closeness of my presence. I have journeyed with you through valleys and across ridges in your soul, speaking word upon word to nurture you, to awaken you to my life beating within yours. There is no moment, no breath, no fleeting thought that escapes my understanding or concern. I have seen your trembling steps and felt your hesitation, but know that I am unshaken. In my hands, the uncertainties of tomorrow are as clear and certain as the love I have poured out over you today. There is no need too great for me, no sorrow too deep to reach with my comfort. You were never meant to carry the burdens alone that have weighed heavily on your chest. As surely as the dawn persists after the blackest night, so my hope stands unyielding, even when your circumstances bend and threaten to break you. Every promise I have spoken is alive, active, and waiting for your trust to meet it in the wide fields of surrender. What does it mean to trust me, you ask? It is not the absence of pain or confusion, but the quiet courage to place your bruised hope in my goodness, even when your hands come away empty. It is the decision to believe that I am at work behind the scenes, stitching gold into the frayed edges of your story. There is a power released in the soul that endures with me, an authority to bless, to heal, to create beauty from ashes again and again. If you would only look up from your striving, you would feel my hands lifting you, setting you on solid ground. My patience for you knows no limit. My delight in you has not flickered, even when your own love wanes. Let me remind you, I have written your name into my heart, and I will never forget you. My faithfulness is not overshadowed by your doubt. My joy is not depleted by your struggles. Every morning, new mercy stretches out, bidding you to begin again. Now, lay down the heavy armor you have constructed to shield yourself from disappointment. I am not like those who have hurt you, those who withheld affection or turned cold when you failed to meet expectations. My love endures through every storm, through every failing, relentless as the rhythm of the sea. Come as you are, even now, and find rest within my embrace. Do not fear the silence. There, my voice is still speaking, whispering courage into hidden parts of your spirit. Give me your hopes. Break open your skepticism. Let your deeper questions surface without fear of reproach. You are seen in your entirety, the secret dreams, the hidden shame, the questions that wake you in the night. With me, nothing is wasted. Every tear sown will reap a harvest. Every season of waiting will reveal a wisdom you could not have gained otherwise. I beckon you onward into the life for which you were created. I have not planted longing in your heart to mock you, but to draw you into fullness. Cast aside the shadows of small thinking, the patterns of despair that echo old wounds. You are made for wide open places, where my spirit breathes freedom, where you move not as a beggar, but as a beloved inheritor of my promises, where comparisons dissolve like mist and peace becomes your closest companion. The world tries to convince you that you must always be doing more proving, defending, chasing worth. But I ask you now to simply abide, to rest in the knowledge that being mine is your highest calling, your true identity. In me, you are completely known and forever chosen. Let me transform the ordinary threads of your days into a tapestry bursting with my glory. Open your eyes to the divine hidden in daily moments, the laughter of a friend, the stillness of morning, a stranger's kindness, the quiet resilience it takes just to begin again. These are my gifts, alive with possibility if you have eyes to notice. Step closer. Risk believing that I am working all things, yes, even the hardest, most tangled things into good. I waste nothing in your life. gathering every fragment and weaving them into a testimony not only for your benefit but as a beacon for those watching you, searching for a light that does not flicker. My child, turn your thoughts from what remains unfinished or unanswered and fix your gaze upon me. There is more unfolding than you can perceive, blessings poised on the horizon that await your persistence in hope. When you stumble, I am quick to lift you. When your steps falter, my arms steady you. Take comfort in the certainty that my plan is larger than failure, wider than regret, and deeper than sorrow. I am here to restore, to renew, to resurrect every part of you that you thought was lost or beyond reach. There is no grave my love cannot penetrate, no night too long that I cannot ignite with dawn. You have arrived at this very moment for a purpose beyond what your eyes can see. Everything that has led you here, the quiet questions beneath your thoughts, the ache and longing, even the silent doubts has gathered within you to seek a word of clarity only I can give. Take comfort. You are not lost nor overlooked. This message has been prepared for you, as surely as dawn finds the earth each morning. Do not rush past this encounter, for missing it would be like passing a well of living water in a desert and remaining thirsty, or walking by the open arms of your Father when you most long for embrace. It matters that you pause and listen, not just with your ears, but with the quiet places within you that long to be filled. What I will reveal is not like the echo of human wisdom, nor the fleeting comfort of an encouraging phrase. Instead, here in these words, I unfurl myself pure, patient, unwavering love, so you may know you are held and known far beyond your understanding. I speak into the layers of your heart that question if you truly belong, into the moments when weariness presses against your spirit and you wonder how long you can go on. There are tender places inside you where fear gathers, and places so hidden you dare not name the ache out loud. Yet I have seen every moment, every hope and hurt, every hidden cry, and I am not distant. My love for you was not decided by your strength or failings. My delight is not based on the days you shine or the hours you stumble. I draw near in your vulnerability, and I stay among your questions, quietly working in threads unseen. Right here, as you listen, something new is beginning, a slow pouring out of my peace to calm your trembling, a gentle unveiling of truth that finds you in both your remembering and your forgetting. You may feel like you are wandering through fog, uncertain if your steps matter or if you are making progress at all. Sometimes you measure your worth by the world's standards, success, acceptance, approval, grasping for something solid to tell you that you are enough. But I do not count your value by crowds or accomplishments. I hold your beginning and your ending, and every faltering step between is cherished by me. Hear me. You have never been outside the reach of my hand. When longing whispers disappointment, or when loneliness shadows your waking, I shape hope from the burdens you carry, and weave purpose even into the places you fear are meaningless. Beneath the noise and burdens of your days, I am calling your heart to quietness. Let yourself rest in me. Allow the truth to settle. Nothing you bring or fail to bring can diminish my care for you. I desire nearness, not performance. Relationship, not perfection. The world will press you to earn, to prove, to make yourself worthy. I would have you lay down your striving and let me love you wholly, just as you are in this very moment. In the secrecy of your soul, where dreams flicker and doubts threaten, I am steady. I've not lost track of your tears, not overlooked your dreaming, not dismissed your longing for acceptance. My gaze is fixed on you with unwavering affection, and I am never moved by the shifting tides of circumstance. In your story, pain and disappointment may have taught you to hold back, to guard your hope and silence your desires. Sometimes you wonder why trouble visits, or where I am while you wrestle with questions too heavy for words. Know this, even in bewilderment and silence, I am present. Pain is not the end of your story, nor does despair have the final word. I am with you in every valley, whispering strength to rise, drawing beauty out of broken ground, inviting you again and again to trust my heart. There is nothing wasted. Every loss, every unanswered question, every shadowed hour, even these are being gathered into my promise, a tapestry whose pattern you may not yet perceive, but whose threads are held firmly in my hands. You are never alone in your struggle. When you feel that grit of exhaustion, when shame or regret presses down, remember that I have seen each heavy hour and never turned away. My mercy runs deeper than your scars, and my compassion is not diminished by your weakness. I do not tire of your questions. I do not grow weary of your needing me. Bring your failures, your confusion, your restlessness to me. These are not barriers but invitations. In this moment, I invite you to trust enough to let go. Let the heavy yoke slip off your shoulders. Even now, I am breathing newness into places you thought were withered beyond hope. Within the bounds of your everyday life, your work, your responsibilities, your relationships, I am at work. What seems small and ordinary to you, I honor. Every unnoticed act of kindness, every quiet decision for integrity, every time you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, these are seeds of the kingdom I am growing in you. Faithfulness is not a show but a heartbeat, a quiet agreement to keep walking with me even when the way is unclear. Do not despise your ordinary days, for I am present there, sanctifying the mundane with redeeming love. I am not in a hurry. My pace is patient, my timing sure. The world may measure value in fast results, in spectacular moments, but I measure love in the slow and steady turning of your heart towards mine. You do not need to manufacture significance or chase recognition. You are significant because you are mine. Every moment you yield to me, every prayer whispered in hope or frailty, every act of humble courage, these write a legacy beloved in my eyes. Stand in the assurance that your journey matters not because it is perfect, but because it is shared with me. My promise is to finish what I have started in you, to bring the good work to completion in ways that will astound you. Trust does not mean the absence of confusion or struggle. Trust is the decision to place your unsettled heart into my capable hands. I am not angered by your moments of doubt. Rather, my delight is to draw near even in your uncertainty. When faith feels fragile and hope flickers, my strength is most present. Do not fear your weakness. It is the place where my grace is poured out most abundantly. Lift your gaze from the troubles that crowd your vision and let me anchor you in peace. I am making a way forward for you, even now, where you see only impossibility. You may not see every outcome or understand every season, but I have called you by name and written your story with care. I delight in you not because of your achievements, but because you bear my image and my affection rests on you. Let go of measuring your worth by ever-shifting standards or comparing your path with others. I have composed your journey uniquely, and every high and low, each triumph and trial, is woven into a greater story, one of belonging, purpose, and redemption. Hold this truth close. You are seen, you are chosen, you are loved with an everlasting love. You have wondered if I truly see the struggles you hide in your heart, the silent wrestling when night presses in. Know this, I have watched every moment, each flicker of hope, and each pang of disappointment. Nothing has been wasted, nothing unnoticed. The heaviness you sometimes carry is not ignored by me. Even when you cannot see beyond your own circumstance, I am drawn near, holding you closer than your own breath. In the stillness between your prayers, I am at work, weaving quiet strength through your soul. There is more unfolding within you than you realize, and I delight in nurturing every tender shoot of faith that pushes up through the soil of your circumstances. Trust that I am cultivating something beautiful in depths hidden from your sight. The path I walk alongside you leads to a place where hope flourishes. My presence never falters, no matter how you may feel. The uncertainty you face does not diminish my devotion. When you are weary, troubling thoughts crowding your mind, recall that I fashioned you with purpose and care, placing within you a resilience born of my own spirit. Each day you wake is crafted by my hand as an opportunity to draw nearer, to lay down what burdens you, and to gather up what brings life. The questions you carry are safe with me. Even those doubts you keep locked away cannot distance you from my affection. I invite you to breathe, to remember you are not navigating your journey alone. My promise remains unbroken above the storm. Often, you seek definitive answers, wanting assurance before stepping forward. I understand the longing for certainty in a world marked by shifting shadows. Yet faith grows in the soil of trust, not having all the answers, but allowing my love to steady your heart when clarity escapes you. When you choose to lean into me, to surrender what you grasp so tightly, you make room for wonder and for my wisdom to arise in unexpected ways. You may not see the entire road ahead, but take comfort. I am the light for each step. As you walk with me, even your uncertainty becomes the fertile ground where courage and purpose bloom. Do not measure your value by difficult seasons or mistakes you regret. I see beyond your failures and accomplishments alike, beholding the person I created, marked by worth beyond measure. When regret attempts to smother your hope, let my mercy wash over you anew. I do not hold your past against you, nor do I define you by transient moments. I remember you in love formed with intention, cherished without qualification. Allow my gaze to replace the harsh labels you give yourself. The Redeemer's hand transforms even the most battered history into testimony of grace. If you have felt overlooked or unheard, know that I draw near to the ones whom the world undervalues. I've always chosen unlikely people for wondrous purposes, seeing treasures where others see dust. Do not count yourself out in seasons of hiddenness. I am at work in the places that seem forgotten. In stillness and obscurity, I prepare and shape you for what comes next. I am never far, but intimately invested, listening for your quietest sigh. I do not measure your significance by outward achievement, but by the deep reservoir of love and trust you place in me. There are times when pain or fear urges you to withdraw, to protect your heart by pulling back. My invitation is different. I call you nearer with assurance, not demanding perfection, but longing for honesty. When you bring your tears, I do not turn aside. I gather each one. The wounds you carry matter to me, and it is within my presence that healing begins. Bring me what feels broken. Together we will turn mourning into dancing in my time. Entrust your sorrow to me, for I am the mender of hearts, able to restore what you thought was lost forever. Remember, you are not responsible for carrying what is mine to bear. The burdens that bend your back can be placed in my capable hands. You were never meant to journey alone, or to force solutions through sheer strength. Yield your anxieties, your worries about tomorrow. I meet you in your relinquishment, filling the gap with my peace. The world may press you for answers and constant striving, but my way is gentler, more profound. There is wisdom in letting go, in resting even when all is not resolved. Let your heart be at ease in my presence. I am attentive to every detail of your need. The love I have for you is not predicated on your ability to measure up. My delight in you does not waver when you struggle. If anything, my affection grows ever more tender. I cherish the entirety of your story, joys, sorrows, and all the hidden places. Nothing can separate you from my love. If you stumble, I am there to steady you. If you falter, my arms are open. When you wander, I pursue, never losing sight of you for a moment. My faithfulness is the truest anchor. You can rely on me even when you feel unsteady within yourself. As you seek me with questions and dreams, know that I welcome your searching heart. I am not threatened by your doubts or complexities. Instead, I rejoice in your honesty, for true relationship flourishes where there is authenticity. Do not silence your longing for deeper connection. Reach toward me, even with trembling hands. I honor every attempt to draw closer, each whispered prayer in the dark. Even when you struggle to find words, I understand the language of your soul. You are seen, known, and valued beyond measure. There is renewal available, fresh as the dawn. Past seasons of dryness or discouragement do not determine your future with me. I am always bringing newness, inviting you to step out from the empty shadows and into the warmth of my favor. Receive courage, for today the strength I provide is not merely for survival, but for abundance and joy. Allow my spirit to revive what has grown weary within you. As you yield your agenda, you make space for hope to rise, and for my guidance to become evident amidst confusion. Trust that your story, even in its most humble chapters, holds immeasurable meaning in my eyes. Every small act of kindness, each quiet faithfulness, matters profoundly to me. What appears insignificant to the world delights me deeply. The seeds you plant in darkness will burst forth in due time, reaping a harvest of blessing you cannot yet fathom. Do not underestimate the power of gentle persistence, or the significance of steadfast love. I cherish your efforts, celebrating victories the world overlooks. Do not fear the unknown or the places where you feel unqualified. My strength is made perfect in your weakness, and all I ask is your willingness to trust me. Where your resources end, my sufficiency begins. You need not have all the answers to take the next step. I am guiding, shaping, and equipping you for all that lies ahead. Invite me into every decision, every uncertainty. I will never leave you without counsel or leave your prayers unanswered. In stillness, you will come to recognize my voice, gentle but sure, leading you in the way you should go. I invite you now, rest in my presence, and let my peace settle deep within. You have felt the weight of doubt pressing against your heart, trying to convince you that you are alone in your struggles. But I remind you, I am here with you, even in the places where you least expect me. My presence is not bound by circumstances or moods. I am beside you in the silent frustrations, in the humble efforts you make to keep moving forward. I see your dedication, the moments spent laboring quietly for the sake of others, the sacrifices that no one else seems to notice. You might wonder if these offerings matter to me. They matter deeply. Every act done with love, perseverance, and hope is precious in my sight. Do not discount the impact of small faithfulness. It is in these gentle, unnoticed moments that I work closest to your heart, refining you, shaping your character, and revealing my love through you. Trust that nothing is lost or wasted in my hands. My desire for you is not simply to endure life, but to discover the treasures hidden in your daily journey. Every trial, each instance of confusion or pain, is an invitation. I am drawing you to look beyond the surface, to seek the gifts wrapped within challenges. These are not tests sent out of cruelty, but opportunities for your soul to find new strength. When your path feels uncertain, pause and remember, I am guiding every step, often turning hardships into doorways for deeper transformation. You do not walk this road blind, not when you stay open to my leading, even when the next step is shrouded in fog. Tune your spirit to trust not in what you see or feel, but in the promise that I am good, and my ways are purposeful. You have heard many voices explain what faith looks like. Some make it sound like having no questions, no fear, no weakness. Yet I tell you, faith is not the absence of doubt, but the courage to bring your doubts to me. You are not a disappointment for wondering, for struggling to believe. I cherish your honesty. I am close when you are honest about your weariness and longing for reassurance. Bring your questions, your wounds, your insecurities, and lay them before me. It is in these vulnerable places that I work with gentleness, never shaming you, only inviting you to deeper intimacy. The strength you think you lack is discovered in surrender. The wisdom you seek flows as you dare to depend on my voice above every other. Even when you hide, wrapping yourself in the busyness of life to avoid facing your pain, I pursue you. There is no corner too dark, no barrier strong enough to separate you from my love. My pursuit is gentle but relentless, like a river that finds its way through the hardest rock. Each day, I extend new invitations to connection, sparks of hope, whispers through creation, unexpected moments of kindness, and reminders of belonging. Your heart was fashioned to respond to these invitations. You do not have to manufacture the strength to come forward. Simply let yourself be drawn. I delight in your presence, far more than you imagine. When regrets threaten to claim your peace, remember that I do not weigh you by your past. My forgiveness is not fragile or limited. If you feel the ache of old wounds or guilt, be assured that my mercy is greater. I make all things new, redeeming even the seasons of your life that you wish you could erase. Your value is not based on perfection, but on the love I have chosen to pour into you. Let go of self-condemnation. Accept the good gifts I long to place in your open hands, grace that covers, hope that restores, freedom that comes through. My acceptance. Breathe it in. I am not tallying your shortcomings. I am singing over you with compassion and joy. Many times you wonder about your purpose. Questions swirl within. Why am I here? What difference can I make? You may search for significance in achievements, relationships, or recognition, but I have marked you with a purpose that runs deeper than surface roles or fleeting successes. Your life is a reflection of my image, and every day you live is an opportunity to shine my light right where you are. You do not have to cross oceans or scale heights to fulfill your purpose. It begins with faithful love to those I bring across your path, with kind words, listening ears, and steady hands ready to serve. I rejoice in your willingness. Your story has meaning, not because of its sparkle, but because you are chosen, called, and loved. There will be seasons when your prayers return to you with silence. Do not mistake my quietness for absence. I am always working, often beneath the surface where you cannot see, weaving answers that surpass your requests. My timing is not set by your impatience, but by a wisdom that sees the end from the beginning. Hold on when answers are delayed. Wait with hope, knowing that I am aligning resources, shaping hearts, and preparing you for blessings far greater than you expect. You have not been forgotten. Every sigh and every tear has been gathered and cherished. I am closer in the waiting than you realize. My love for you is not a shifting emotion, nor is it based on your performance. It is a solid covenant, a fixed anchor through every storm. On days when you feel unlovable or unwanted, on nights when shame echoes loudest, return to this truth. Nothing can separate you from my love. It holds steady when feelings betray you, remains true when circumstances crumble, and is powerful enough to sustain you through every valley. I have set my affection on you not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. Rest in this refuge when doubts swirl. What you see as weakness, I often use as the starting point for miracles, hunger for change, the longing for growth, even the ache of your own limitations. All these prepare your heart for my transforming work. I never require you to have it all figured out before receiving my help. Instead, your humility, your openness to be guided and changed, draws my presence near. Invite me into your struggles and watch how I bring healing, clarity, and new vision from the very places you once thought hopeless. Nothing lies outside the reach of my grace. I celebrate each time you choose trust over fear, hope over despair, forgiveness over bitterness. These are victories in my eyes, sometimes hidden, but never insignificant. My spirit empowers you to make choices that align with your true identity. Do not despise the day of small beginnings, or compare your journey to those around you. I am crafting a story uniquely woven for you, and my delight is found in every courageous step you take closer to me. There are moments when the currents of life roughen and it feels as though you are drifting, cut loose from familiar shores, uncertain where you will land. In the softest quiet and the deepest storms alike, I am there, whispering strength into your soul. Sometimes, my ways unfold as a tender whisper in the darkness, a patience that does not coerce but gently draws you nearer. When disappointment burns through your heart, when you face bitter nights awake with questions and fear, notice how the dawn always returns. I prepared this devotion to pour new courage into you, that you might trust that I never retreat, never slumber, never forget my promise to hold you steady through every night. The enemies of hope, doubt, regret, shame will attempt to darken your vision, but my light, the very essence of who I am, creates a path for your weary feet, showing you the way forward, even when you do not see the complete road ahead. Now is when your trust matters most, not because I am asking for you to be unafraid, but because I am reminding you that vulnerability before me is the seedbed for miracles. I see every tear, every silent plea confessed in the secret corners of your heart. Remember, even in the process of healing, it is not your perfection I celebrate, but your willingness to turn again toward me, to trust with childlike faith, even when maturity has taught you to guard yourself. Let the world say what it will, I invite you, instead, to listen for my voice that champions you, never dismisses you, and always breathes mercy. If memories try to chain you to past mistakes, let me remind you, I create newness from what appears irreparably ruined. My forgiveness is not hesitant or partial. It is freely given, a cleansing river that washes over all you thought was lost. Do not imagine that my love is shaped by your shifting moods or failures. It is far deeper than that. My love is the undertow carrying you back when you drift, the unbreakable tether binding your spirit to mine. Even when my ways feel mysterious, remember that every story of redemption I am writing, even yours, is meant to display my faithfulness. In loneliness, when you wonder if anyone on this earth truly sees you, I want you to consider how unwaveringly I watch over you, how intimately I track every detail of your life, how fiercely I shelter you from what you do not even recognize as danger. The world's values may teach you to earn love or strive for acceptance, but I offer you rest. Let go of the urgency to prove yourself. Instead, sink into the certainty of being fully known, fully accepted, and fully cherished by me. When old wounds resurface and you find yourself circling the same mountain, do not scorn your weakness. Let it become an invitation to deeper trust. I use the very places that ache the most as doorways to your transformation. The soil of your brokenness is where my greatest works begin to bloom. My power is not limited by your insecurities. I delight in surprising you, turning mourning into joy, ashes into beauty, fear into boldness. Gaze at the natural world. See how flowers push through the hardest earth. See how rivers carve paths through stone. So it is with your heart. Give me your fears, not as a resignation, but as an offering. Each time you surrender, I pour hope anew so your spirit may dance unburdened. Do not rush past your pain, but neither let it define your future. I have always intended the story of your life to echo with the cadence of redemption. I see the longing in you to matter, to make a difference, to experience healing that lasts. Hold fast to me in the waiting. My timing is not meant as a punishment, but as preparation. I am moving in the unseen places, arranging what you cannot perceive for your ultimate good. When frustration surges, remember the rhythm of seeds and seasons. Not every promise breaks forth overnight. Sometimes you will only glimpse the first tender shoot, Yet you can trust a harvest is certain. My faithfulness is not swayed by your circumstances. I work in ways that ultimately reveal my glory and your joy hand in hand. How precious you are to me, not for your striving, but for your honest heart before me. Come closer, lay down your anxieties, and let me remind you that your life is safely held in hands that do not fail. There is grace for each moment, strength for each challenge, gentle correction for each wayward step. When you stumble, it is not my disappointment that greets you, but my compassion, urging you to rise again. Every act of forgiveness you offer or receive is a reflection of my own heart toward you. Let go of harsh self-judgment. Let my gentleness reshape your view of yourself and others. Let your failures become stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. I am patient, working in you even when you feel stalled or unworthy. My spirit is quietly renewing you, breathing endurance, hope, and even joy into dry bones. Be attentive, for I often speak in subtle ways, a song echoing my promise, a friend's kindness, just when you needed it, the sense of peace after you pour out your worries in prayer. Be willing to see my fingerprints in the everyday, for that is where I delight to meet you. When you hunger for a sign, look for love in action, in the moments of kindness you both give and receive. My kingdom grows in hidden places first, in small faith, whispered prayers, choices to love when it is hardest. What the world overlooks, I treasure. What you call weakness, I call the beginning of strength. Rest assured, nothing in you is wasted. Every chapter, every struggle, every joy is building you into the person I envisioned from the beginning. If you hear voices reminding you of your shortcomings, remember that these are not my words. I call you beloved, chosen, and called by name. My plans for you are rooted in hope, anchored in a future shaped by my goodness. I am faithful to complete the work I have begun in you, even when you doubt, even when you cannot see the end from the middle. Trust that the story I am crafting in your life is wiser and kinder than what you would have written for yourself. There is no distance you can travel that would take you beyond the reach of my care. Whether you feel triumphant or defeated today, know this: my company goes with you, my presence shelters you, my peace can anchor you. Invite me into every moment, not just the ones you feel proud of, and watch how I renew what is weary, how I refresh old dreams, how I restore what you never thought could be mended. I am not limited by scarcity. My love overflows, ready to meet you precisely where you are. In the face of uncertainty and insecurity, let my promises be the foundation on which you build. I am not just watching from afar. I am investing myself into your days, eager to surprise you with joy, with provision, with answers that sometimes come disguised in simple graces. Open your eyes to wonder, to unexpected blessings, to the love that flows daily from my heart to yours. Your journey is precious to me not because it is flawless, but because you walk it with me, step by trembling step. Even in your confusion, I am guiding, shaping, teaching, and loving you toward wholeness. Keep coming back, keep hoping, keep saying yes, for I am here, holding you always. Even as you journey forward in the landscape of your heart, there are times when doubts crawl in like shadows at sunset, and you find yourself questioning your worth, your purpose, or even my attention to the details that trouble you. Know this: I am not distant, I am not elusive, and I do not turn away when your thoughts falter or you feel inadequate. My gaze lingers upon you with unwavering affection, seeing both what is visible and what lies hidden beneath your awkward smiles or silent tears. You were made to carry light, even if you feel small. The light I place within you is not measured by human standards. It radiates on its own terms, illuminating corners that even you cannot always see. When you wonder if you are enough, recall that I have chosen you, not for your perfection but for your willingness to remain near me. even when the world would have you believe otherwise. The world will often offer you standards that feel impossible to meet, and it will signal success by achievements that fade quickly. Let me assure you, the measure I use is so different. I see the moments when you persist in kindness, though it is unnoticed, when you choose mercy, though it is costly, when you refuse bitterness, though it presses against you. These hidden victories are treasures, in my eyes, mountains moved by the daily decisions you make not to give up, to seek me still, to hope for what you cannot yet see. I am present in the ordinary exchanges, the small acts of faith, the unseen sacrifices. They rise to me as fragrant offerings, carrying more eternal weight than you can grasp now. Others may overlook these moments, but I never do. They matter deeply to me, for it is through these quiet acts that you participate in the redemption and renewal I am working in your life. If you listen carefully, you will sense my encouragement nudging you in your weakest seasons. When you cannot find words to pray or feel overwhelmed by the noise of your worries, pause and let me settle over you like a gentle covering. Rest is not a failure or a luxury. It is a sacred space in which I tend to you and realign your spirit. I am not impatient with your need for comfort. Indeed, I designed you for rhythms of work and rest, for seasons of movement and stillness. Allow yourself to receive, to exhale, and to know that in stillness, I do some of my deepest work within you. You do not always need a solution or an answer. You need my presence. When you sit quietly and lay your weary concerns before me, I am already at work, mending, holding, preparing you to receive the next unfolding of grace. There will be hours when your spirit feels barren and hope seems far. In those hours, do not measure my faithfulness by what you feel. My promises do not change with the shifting winds of emotion or circumstance. Your journey is not always mapped by steady progress. It is full of valleys and vistas, of hidden growth beneath the surface. Even a seed buried in the darkness is not abandoned. In silence and obscurity, transformation happens. I am guiding roots deep, drawing forth new life in places you cannot yet see. Trust the slow work of my hands. Be patient with yourself as I am patient with you. Look not to your weaknesses, but to my strength that is made perfect when you release your striving and welcome my sufficiency. There are moments when fear clings tightly and threatens to suffocate your courage. Let me remind you, I have already walked ahead of you, carrying the burden you fear cannot be lifted. I am not surprised by your anxieties. I hold them tenderly, and I invite you to trade them for the steadiness of my peace. This peace does not simply numb you to life's struggles, it anchors you amid the storm. When waves of worry and uncertainty crash, let your first response be to look to me, not as a last resort, but as your steady companion in every season. Whisper my name. Let your anxious thoughts spill out in honest confession, and sense my nearness as I lift your head. I will not allow your soul to be lost. I stand as your defender, your provider, your beloved friend. In your longing to see change, to experience breakthrough, to watch prayers transform reality, remember, my timing is not slow, but it is perfect. I see the broader picture you cannot yet grasp, carefully weaving pieces into place when all you see are scattered fragments. The waiting deepens your trust, shaping your character and enlarging your capacity to receive the fullness of what you truly desire and need. Every prayer poured from your heart is heard, cherished, absorbed into my loving intention for your life. Delay does not mean denial. Often, it is the soil in which resilience, gratitude, and wisdom are cultivated. When you feel overlooked or passed by, let gratitude and expectation blossom together. Speak out what you know to be true of me, even if your feelings struggle to keep up. I am faithful to complete every good work I begin in you, and nothing is wasted in my hands. If you could see yourself as I see you, Courage would rise up and silence every voice of condemnation and shame. Where the world labels you with inadequacy, I call you beloved, wanted, and chosen. Though your past may echo with regret or sorrow, I have already rewritten your future with words of hope. Do not allow failure to define your worth or mistakes to sentence you to a life of regret. Instead, bring all your brokenness to me and see how I repurpose even your deepest wounds. I am the one who brings beauty where there seemed only ashes, who opens doors where walls appeared unmovable. Your story, with all its twists and detours, is not a disappointment to me. I am not counting your stumbles, but celebrating your willingness to rise, to return, to trust again. There is an invitation here, woven gently into each moment of this day, to believe that I am for you, not against you. My love is not a distant concept reserved for the flawless. It is an active presence in your real, unfiltered life. You are not left to struggle alone. I long for you to draw nearer, not because you are obligated, but because you are deeply loved. In your searching, let your heart be guided by the truth that I rejoice over you. Even now, even here, I see the silent places in your heart where questions linger, where sometimes you wrestle with yourself, unsure if you truly belong to me, unsure if my promises can be counted on in your most fragile moments. Know this, you are not lost in a faceless crowd, nor missed among millions yearning for love. You as you are, with all that shapes your story, your victories and stumbles, your laughter and tears are always before me. I do not turn my face away from you when you are weak. I remain present, eager to draw close and lift your head. Through each trial, even those you think are too small for my attention, I am actively working to bring forth beauty and unexpected hope. There are seeds of greatness and gentleness I have planted within you, sometimes buried beneath doubts or fear that I patiently water, never ceasing in my desire for you to flourish. When the weight feels too much to bear and your soul aches for relief, I carry you in my embrace, holding the pieces of your heart gently, never shaming you for your frailty. There are days when discouragement may whisper that you are not making progress, that you are failing to transform, but hear me. Transformation is a gentle process, more like the unfolding of dawn light than the sudden flash of lightning. I do not demand perfection. I seek a willing heart, one open to being shaped and healed in my timing. Each attempt you make to rise above old patterns, every small act of kindness or courage, is celebrated and cherished by me. Your persistence matters more than your flawless execution. When you fall, let yourself fall into my grace rather than self-condemnation, for my mercy renews with every breath you take. Refuse the lie that you are too far gone, too broken, or too late. In my eyes, you are always a worthy beginning, a beloved work in progress, capable of surprising holiness. I remind you that I am the God who walks beside rather than demanding you arrive without stumbling. I am not distant when you are confused. I am the guiding hand steadying your steps, the quiet assurance that even detours and delays can become part of your redemption. When pain and disappointment revisit and threaten to define your life, I am present in these moments, closer than your own breath, speaking a gentler narrative over your life than the one your wounds suggest. My voice is the one whispering possibility and blessing, when every other voice speaks only of limits or regret. Trust the process of becoming. There is goodness woven through the very act of remaining faithful through uncertainty. I take the offerings of your daily life, your work, your thoughts, your relationships, and use them as vessels to shape my love in you. Nothing is wasted. Not the mundane, not the setbacks, not even the long nights when your prayers feel unanswered. My presence permeates it all, just as sunlight fills a room without any corner left untouched. Be patient with yourself, just as I am patient with you. The harshness you sometimes show yourself is not my way. My correction is compassionate, always aimed at drawing you to healing, never to shame or crushing despair. Allow my truth to replace the false standards and indictments you've picked up through life, for I see you through eyes of unwavering love. In your moments of stillness, when you quiet your heart and listen, you will sense my nearness more surely than you ever dared hope. I am not a distant observer, waiting only at mountaintops. I am with you in the valleys, in the daily striving, in the seemingly ordinary rhythms that make up the majority of your days, in washing dishes or caring for loved ones, in your work and your leisure. My spirit whispers remembrances of your value. Let yourself notice the small graces, the way the morning light falls on your face, the comfort of a friend's understanding, the strength to show kindness even when weary. These are all reminders of my ongoing involvement and delight in your life. Do not underestimate the quiet influence of a life steeped in my presence. The world chases noise, spectacle, and instant validation, but I form my children in the quiet spaces, in seasons that seem slow and hidden. Your inward character, the shape of your heart, matters more to me than any outward measure of success. Courage and compassion, cultivated in anonymity, prepare you for greater things than you yet see. There are doors I am opening for you that you cannot yet imagine, opportunities and relationships being prepared even while you are learning patience in what seems like waiting. My beloved, your prayers are never ignored. The ache you carry, the longing for change or comfort, is heard more intimately than you realize. Sometimes, my answer will look different than expected, for my wisdom is deep and my plans encompass generations. But every tear is counted, every sigh is sacred. When you cannot find the words to express your need, my spirit interprets even your groanings and transforms them into prayers before my throne. There are miracles unfolding behind the veil, in dimensions you cannot see. Remember, the journey is not one you walk alone. I have given you companions for the road, people whose presence and love are instruments of my own kindness. Sometimes these companions will come in unexpected forms, a word from a stranger, a child's laughter, the embrace of someone who sees you truly. Accept these as my gifts, and do not fear leaning on others. You were never meant to shoulder burdens in isolation. My body is made of many members, each given to support and cherish the other. When fear tries to dictate your future or shrink your dreams, recall that my power is made perfect in your weakness. I call you not to be fearless, but to trust me with your fears, to allow love to lead you even when you feel trembling or unsure. There is strength in vulnerability when covered by my faithful love. The wounds you carry can be healed and even become sources of compassion for others walking similar roads. I waste nothing, not your pain, nor your joy, nor your failures. All are threads in the tapestry I am weaving, a tapestry with beauty beyond your current vision. Hold on to hope, even when the evidence seems scarce. Hope is not wishful thinking, but the confident expectation that I am working all things for your good. Let your mind dwell on what is true, noble, and life-giving, and in this renewing of your thoughts, you will find resilience to face each day, no matter what comes. I infuse your ordinary with meaning and purpose. Nothing is too small or insignificant when entrusted to me. Continue to show up, continue to love, continue to allow yourself to be led, and you will see in time the harvest of peace and joy I have promised you. There are moments when you feel weighed down by the burdens you carry, as if every step takes more strength than you possess. It is in these moments that I draw especially close to you, inviting you to bring those burdens and set them down before me. You do not have to carry the weight alone, nor do you need to pretend that everything is under control when inside your heart trembles. I am your rock, steadfast and unyielding, a shelter for your soul in every storm. Even when your prayers are whispered through tears or barely rise above a weary sigh, I listen with all the tenderness of a parent whose child is precious beyond words. I do not disregard your pain or scorn your weakness. I enter into your struggle and provide the sustaining grace that lifts you when you feel you can go no further. The world teaches you to toughen your heart, to mask your wounds, yet I call you to openness, honesty, and trust, for in your weakness, my strength becomes most visible. You have sometimes wondered why I permit seasons of wilderness, those times when comfort seems far and prayers seem to hang unanswered in the air. Understand, beloved, that I do not test you to wound you or abandon you, but to shape and refine you in love. As pressure transforms rough stone into a vessel of beauty, so I use adversity to fashion in you a deeper reliance on me, a faith that holds fast even when feelings offer you no reassurance. In the quiet suffering of the night, when loneliness or uncertainty threaten to overwhelm, I am nearer than you know. Your tears are not wasted, they water the seed of hope growing within you. Let them fall in my presence, for I gather each one, turning what seems senseless into stories of resilience, wisdom, and compassion that prepare you to comfort others. Consider how a seed buried in darkness sprouts only because it trusts in the prompting of warmth and rain. In hidden places of your life, where no one sees or celebrates your efforts, I am quietly cultivating what will one day break forth in beauty and purpose. Do not disdain these hidden years, or judge your worth by visible outcomes. So much of my work happens underground, nourishing you with hope, reshaping you with truth, redirecting your desires to align with my heart. There is goodness in walking at my pace, letting me reveal the next step in the proper time. Impatience can tempt you to rush ahead, take shortcuts, or force results, but lasting fruit grows only where roots reach deep into the soil of my love and wisdom. If you have stumbled or failed, do not let shame speak louder than my voice. I see beyond every mistake and misstep to the true intentions and the longing that motivates you. When you come to me with your regrets, I do not turn away in disappointment. Instead, I draw you closer and invite you to receive afresh the mercy that never runs out, the forgiveness that restores dignity and peace. Release your habit of self-condemnation. My correction is never harsh, never meant to break you. It is the gentle hand that writes a new story over the pages you wish you could erase. Trust me to weave all things, including your failures, into the tapestry of redemption I am crafting in your life. Relationships in your life may sometimes become difficult, strained by misunderstanding, betrayal, or distance. Know that I care deeply for each connection, and I feel your ache for reconciliation and belonging. Call upon me to heal what is broken, to soften hard hearts, and to guide you in seeking peace. Forgiveness is a powerful gift, not only to the one who wronged you, but to your own soul, releasing you from burdens of resentment. Love others as I love you, unconditionally, seeking their good even when it is costly to do so. I can restore what seems beyond hope. There is no wound too deep for my healing touch. If you feel invisible or overlooked, remember that I am the God who sees. The quiet acts of faithfulness, the gestures of kindness no one notices, matter greatly in my kingdom. I delight in your willingness to persevere when applause is absent and recognition is withheld. Do not measure your worth by the approval of others. My gaze is upon you in both celebration and obscurity, in success and in struggle. Your significance comes from being mine, cherished and valued beyond any human standard. When you wake in the night with anxious thoughts or doubts about your identity, draw near to me and let me remind you of who you are, beloved, chosen, and irreplaceable. When future choices weigh heavily on your heart, when you do not know which path to take or how to move forward, seek my wisdom. I do not demand perfection in decision making, nor do I withhold my guidance from those who ask in humility. Trust that I can redirect you even if you take a wrong turn. Your destiny does not rest on your flawless execution, but on my commitment to lead you faithfully. Wait quietly for my counsel. Listen for my peace as the signpost for your journey. Where confusion abounds, I offer clarity not by revealing every detail at once, but by granting enough light for the step you are on. Walk with me in alertness and confidence, assured that each day's manna will suffice. There are gifts within you, some already blooming, others still hidden beneath layers of fear or uncertainty. I delight in calling forth what I have placed within you, giving you courage to use your talents, voice, and story to bless and uplift others. Do not despise small beginnings or ordinary offerings. No act done in love is wasted. I multiply what you place in my hands, using your willingness to touch lives in ways that ripple far beyond your sight. Celebrate the unique way I have fashioned you, resisting comparisons or envy. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, equipped for every good work I have planned. Deep within your spirit, there is a longing for joy that outlasts circumstances, a hunger for hope that does not wither in adversity. Let me fill you with life that overflows, a joy not born of fleeting pleasures but rooted in the certainty of my presence and promise. When the shadows fall and gladness seems distant, remember that joy and sorrow can coexist. You are not failing me when you grieve. Allow me to meet you even there, infusing you with strength and gentle laughter that bubbles up amid tears. Each dawn brings the assurance of new mercies and renewed possibilities. My child, as you journey on imperfect, yet held, know that nothing can separate you from my love. Not fear, not failure, not even seasons that seem devoid of light. I am the author of your story, not just at its triumphant moments, but in every hidden chapter, every silent prayer, every step you dare to take, believing that I am for you and not against you. My faithfulness is a covering you can trust, a shield in every trial, and a banner of victory waving over your life, even now. In the quiet places, where you sometimes doubt if I see you, or if I truly understand your weary heart, let me draw near and remind you. I know every hidden worry, every unspoken longing, each burden you've hesitated to bring to me. My knowledge of you is not distant or intellectual. It is like the artist who knows every shade and fold of their masterpiece, because each part was chosen with intent and love. I see not just the moments you share with others, but those parts of you that only emerge in midnight reflections and silent tears. Nothing you carry is ignored or forgotten by me. Even when you feel small in a vast world or insignificant within your tangled concerns, my gaze holds you as precious. When you consider how much you must accomplish or change, remember that I measure you not by your achievements, but by the sincerity of your heart as it turns toward me. You may sometimes judge yourself harshly, stacking your failures like stones, but I see something very different. I see every step you take to rise again, every honest prayer for help, every time you choose to love when it would be easier to retreat. These small secret victories are beautiful to me. You are not left to journey in shifting sands with only your own strength. My presence is not restrained by distance, circumstance, or the barriers you sometimes create. I am the steady hand beneath you, and my invitation remains open to find me not only in mountaintop moments, but here, right now, in the dailiness of your struggles and joys, in work undone and relationships for which you lack words. Nothing delights me more than when you speak plainly to me, for in every authentic prayer you let me draw closer. Do not be discouraged by prayers that seem imperfect, or lives that feel unfinished. I do not require eloquence, only honesty. My healing does not depend on your worthiness, for it is a gift that springs from my own goodness flowing toward you. In seasons where you feel stuck beneath layers of old patterns and stories, I whisper hope to your spirit. Take heart. Transformation is the work of my hands, accomplished with patience that matches the stubbornness of your doubts. You are not too complicated for me, nor are your deepest hurts hidden beyond my reach. My love is a river able to flow through even the rockiest places, reshaping what once seemed unyielding. If you feel lost within the labyrinth of your own questions, stop and let me be your guide. I am not impatient with the time it takes for you to trust or surrender. My wisdom is a light that gently reveals your real self, not the image you've learned to present, but the beloved soul you are beneath the surface. With me, you are safe to become and to belong. Sometimes the world will offer many voices, some encouraging you to take shortcuts of compromise, others urging you to prove your value through striving and perpetual comparison. But I call you to a deeper kind of freedom, one rooted not in perfection but in honest relationship with me. Here, you are neither disqualified by your past nor limited by the expectations of others. My grace is your true homeland. When you trust in my acceptance, you are empowered to walk through criticism and misunderstanding without losing heart. Let my words be the water that nourishes your spirit, so that you can bloom in the very place where you once wilted under pressures and fears. You may recall wounds from the past that rise up unexpectedly, shaping how you relate to me and to others. These echoes need not be your future. Every scar, though it marks a place of pain, can be transformed by my gentle touch into a testimony of resilience. I do not condemn you for the places where you still feel broken. Instead, I walk with you through the valleys, tending each wound as a shepherd cares for a beloved lamb. In your vulnerability, you glimpse my tenderness. In your surrender, my power is made perfect. The world may count as weak those who bring their pain into the light, but I call it courage. Your willingness to let me see the real you opens the way for newness to spring forth. Trust me to lead you toward restoration, even when the road is unfamiliar and progress feels slow. My timing is different from yours, measured in the transformation of hearts rather than the speed of outward results. With each day you open yourself to my care, the roots of hope grow stronger underneath the surface, preparing you for fruit you have not yet imagined. Do not despise small beginnings or quiet seasons of waiting. These are not empty spaces, but fields where I am planting endurance, compassion, and a wisdom you will carry into every future challenge. When I speak of freedom, I do not mean that you will live without adversity or uncertainty. Rather, true freedom is found in knowing deep down that you are mine and that nothing, no accusation, failure, or fear can separate you from my love. This assurance is your anchor in storms. Even as circumstances change, even as people or possessions come and go, my faithfulness does not waver. When you grasp my hand in trust, you will discover the courage to release what you cannot control and the grace to forgive, to keep building, to begin again. Your life is not a random sequence of events, but a story I am weaving with purpose. Every thread, whether bright or shadowed, is being shaped into a tapestry more beautiful and meaningful than you can now perceive. Sometimes I allow discomfort not to punish you, but to draw your attention to truths long hidden or gifts neglected. The emptiness you sense in certain seasons is not abandonment. It is often the preparation for new fullness. When you place your uncertainties in my hands, I trade them for peace, not the fleeting reassurance given by temporary fixes, but the deep, sustaining peace that comes from knowing you are seen, loved, and never alone. The gifts I have placed within you, kindness, creativity, perseverance, faith, are waiting to be awakened and multiplied not by your performance, but by your willingness to trust me with the little you have. I rejoice in your willingness to try again, to risk following me beyond the familiar, to extend love even where you have been wounded. There is nothing wasted in your journey. Every lesson, every decision to rise after falling, is precious to me. Allow me to redefine your understanding of success, not as the applause or approval from others, but as the quiet joy of living in step with my purposes, day by day. As you continue walking with me, I will show you wonders your heart has longed for, even in places where you thought only disappointment resided. There are moments in your journey when fatigue weighs heavily upon you and doubts creep around the edges of your faith. In those moments, I ask you to be still and remember that I am not distant or indifferent, but close enough to whisper peace into your soul. My love for you does not vacillate with your emotions or waver with your mistakes. Even as the storms rage and shadows stretch long, I surround you with kindness and carve a way forward through obstacles you fear will swallow you whole. When you have done all you know to do, when your striving yields little fruit, I invite you to release your burdens into my hands and trust in the power of gentleness and surrender. You cannot measure your worth by the outcome of your efforts or the opinions of others. I see the quiet perseverance no one else applauds, the patient endurance that blooms in secret. In the silence where your heart aches for affirmation, I receive your prayers and treasure every silent tear. You are not fighting alone or unseen. The battles you wage within yourself, the longing to love more, to forgive deeper, to dream again, are precious to me. I keep count of every small victory, and I celebrate your courage to rise after every fall. I do not expect perfection. What delights me is your willingness to walk with me, to keep turning toward the light when the way feels dim. When you encounter disappointment or loss, do not let despair write the end of your story. I am crafting masterpieces with broken pieces you offer me. What appears to be an ending is, in my hands, only the beginning of something redemptive and beautiful. Trust my timing, which stretches beyond what you can see. The seeds you plant in faith, watered by tears and tended with hope, will bear fruit in their season. Even if the bud remains closed for years, it will not be lost in the soil of my love. I am faithful to every promise I have whispered to your soul. Wait on me with expectancy, not fear. As you encounter others along your journey, remember that you are both a carrier and recipient of grace. Do not withhold compassion from those who seem difficult or wounded, for you do not see the entirety of the struggles they conceal beneath their words and actions. Extend the same patience I have given you, knowing that love is most powerful when offered without expectation of return. Celebrate the joys of others as your own, and let envy turn to gratitude for the unique path I have mapped for you. Your relationships are not random intersections. They are opportunities to sow seeds of kindness, forgiveness, and truth. When conflict arises, resist the impulse to defend your pride at the expense of connection. Instead, meet anger with a gentle answer, offering understanding where you might have given judgment. In reconciling with others, you mirror my own heart, a heart that pursues, heals, and restores what has been fractured. Do not tire of seeking peace, for each small act of reconciliation echoes loudly in the courts of heaven. If you feel isolated or misunderstood, remember that you are never truly alone. Even when you walk a path no one else seems to notice, I am intimately acquainted with every step. Your story matters to me, and I use both the heights and the valleys to bring forth compassion, wisdom, and strength from within you. I draw near to the broken-hearted and bind up wounds with the balm of my presence. Trust that your pain is not wasted. It becomes the gold in the tapestry of your testimony, shining light for others who walk beside you in the dust. When the world clamors for your attention and busyness drains your spirit, come away with me into the quiet. Let me still the noise and restore your joy in simple things. Notice the beauty I have painted in each sunrise, the laughter of those you love, the comfort found in a gentle touch or a word of encouragement. Gratitude is a doorway to peace when you thank me for small blessings. Your vision clears and anxiety releases its grip. I supply all that you need for today. Tomorrow is held securely in my care. You need not prove your value by your productivity or your reputation. Rest in the assurance that you are my beloved. I delight in you, not for what you do, but for who you are. My cherished one, created in my image with a purpose that unfolds through every ordinary moment. Do not despise the slow seasons, the waiting rooms of life, for in them I am refining your character and anchoring you deeper in my love. Allow your heart to rejoice in the progress you are making, even if it feels invisible to others. Growth is not always dramatic or immediate. Most often it is gentle, steady, and hidden, like roots pushing down deep below the surface. Continue to nurture your spirit, feed on my words, dwell in my presence, and remain open to my whispers, even when they challenge your comfort. You are being transformed from the inside out, shaped for greater things that only I can see in their fullness. In every circumstance, mountain or valley, I am with you. My guidance is as sure as the sunrise, and my wisdom exceeds all understanding. Do not be afraid to take risks in faith, to stand for truth, or to step out where you feel inadequate. I supply courage at the moment it is needed, and surround you with favor as with a shield. What doors I open, no one can close. Trust me to lead you, even when the road seems unfamiliar and the destination unclear. As you press forward, remember that joy is your strength. Rejoice not just in victories, but in the goodness of every day I grant you. Kindness to yourself is also part of walking in my love. Be gentle with your limitations and quick to forgive your failings. In this way you reflect my heart for you. I do not keep a record of your wrongs, but call you forward, always forward, into the fullness of who you are becoming. You have traveled with me through wonder and depths, questions and gentle correction. You have listened with a heart open enough to receive what others might quickly dismiss or ignore. Now hear me as intimately as a whisper in your soul. Every hope you carry, even the ones hidden beneath layers of disappointment, matters to me. Do not underestimate the joy that stirs in my heart when you let me near the rooms of your life that feel unworthy, too noisy, or forgotten. I see you not just the surface you present in public, or the brave face you wear when fear threatens, but the real you, the sacred self that longs for belonging and assurance. In my gaze, you are more precious than sunrise, more enduring than the waves, chosen not for perfection, but for who you are as my beloved. Invite me into every moment, not just the easy ones. I am not distant from your pain, nor impatient with your progress. When you wonder if there is a limit to my mercy, remember that your doubts do not repel me. They invite me to draw closer, to wrap you in wisdom and gentleness that will never break the bruised reed. If you lose your way, my hand searches for yours in love, not in accusation. When you stumble, I lift you. When you rise, I rejoice. There is no comparison to the relationship I offer you, for it is built not on your striving, but on a steadfastness that is mine alone. Rest in the certainty that nothing, no shadow, failure, or shame, can remove you from the place you hold in my heart. The world will offer many names for you, but only the one I give speaks to your eternal identity. Bear my peace like a seal upon your heart, for it will guard you when chaos threatens and give you courage when the path is unfamiliar. When you stand at the crossroads, doubting which way to go, listen quietly. My guidance is gentle, never forcing or shaming, but always leading you toward fullness and light. Trust that I am not fixing my gaze on your mistakes, but fixing your story with my faithfulness. You are part of a tapestry unrolling through eternity, a thread important and designed just for you. Do not retreat from your own neediness. It is not an embarrassment before me, it is a sacred invitation. I designed you for dependence, not helplessness, but partnership. Bring me your ordinary and your extraordinary, your laughter and your tears, and find me waiting there, attentive and capable. In every struggle, I am the companion who does not withdraw when things grow dark. Even when your trust falters or your prayers seem lost to the wind, I carry every sigh as a symphony, holding nothing against you. My conviction guides without crushing, my correction is drenched in compassion, and my delight is never withdrawn by your weakness. Dare to hope again, even if hope feels fragile. When what you expected did not arrive, and disappointment settled in your bones, hear me. I am still shaping meaning from every fragment. The empty places are not signals of your failure, but opportunities for my fullness to be revealed. You may plant seeds and wait in the uncertainty of unseen growth, but I am the sun that coaxes every buried promise toward fruitfulness. My timetable is not a punishment, but a weaving of perfect threads in my perfect wisdom. Quit measuring your worth by outcomes or timelines. Rest in knowing my purposes are better than what you settle for. Let your mistakes be stones you step on, not chains that bind you. Lift your face to me, unashamed of your journey, for I delight to walk with you where others might pass by. If regret clings to you, loosen its grip. I define you not by what you have done or left undone, but by the immensity of my affection for you. If guilt whispers that you are disqualified, listen for my voice rising higher, strong and unwavering. You belong, you are wanted, you are my joy. I have not overlooked your smallest efforts or your greatest sacrifices, and nothing you offer from your heart is ever wasted in my kingdom. When peace is elusive, remember that I am nearer than your breath. Still your heart and discover me in quiet places, whether in gentle mornings, silent prayers, or even your anxious thoughts. I do not turn away from you in turmoil. I meet you there, transforming unrest into rest. Release the need to control outcomes and trust the rhythm of surrender, where my presence becomes the anchor no storm can uproot. I breathe possibility into every day and set before you invitations to see my fingerprints in the ordinary, the struggle, the waiting, and the becoming. Healing is not always a single moment, but a daily walk. Every step an encounter with my nearness. When wounds feel unhealed, let me be the one who sits with you in the ache and gradually turns your mourning into joy, your despair into songs of hope. I am patient with your process. You do not have to fix yourself to be loved by me. Bring your questions, your fears, and your fragmented dreams. Let me mend what was broken and gently restore hope where it had grown faint. My strength is not reserved for only the strong. I am strong for you, even when you are weary and small. Trust that you are being transformed, not in distant stages, but each moment you return to me with honesty. Do not compare your journey to others, for I write each story uniquely, and I am proud of you for every movement toward trust. When you are misunderstood or unseen, rejoice that I am the God who knows you fully and loves you entirely. Pour out everything, your gratitude and your growing pains, your convictions and your confusion. None of it is too much for me. I hold you in both your serenity and your storms, forever faithful, infinitely loving, and always attentive. If you listen carefully, you will discover that I am never silent, even when answers come slowly. My love is steady, my plans for you, hopeful. Go forth now, beloved one, and let your days be shaped by the assurance of my presence, the warmth of my affection, and the clarity of your belonging. Return to me as often as you need. Bring your real self and discover that my mercies are new every morning, waiting to gather you in embrace with encouragement that will never tire, a peace that stills even your busiest thoughts, and a hope that cannot be put to shame. Amen. Return now, walk boldly in my love, and let the world see through you the radiant